And now, your mama knows.
Bruce, unleash the baby god dragon!
I know, I didn't feel like it. What's going on, guys? It's another episode of King of Content Show, and I was thinking of something cool. Or at least I think it's cool. So I was thinking, right? There's a lot of stuff that happened. This weekend we had the Royal Rumble, and I'm a wrestling fan. Today we just found out that Sony is purchasing Bungie, and I'm a gaming fan. And then we just have life as we know it. So I was thinking, what if we just touch a bunch of things, right? What if we could have sections of different topics? And what I would do after the fact, for people who watch it later on, I'll timestamp each section, but we'll try as best as we can. Now, once new people join, they may want to touch something that happened before. So I'll also have the timestamp of each actual conversation, and then I'll actually have the timestamp of when each person joins the show, so you could actually follow them as well. But guys, joining me today is a bunch of people, which is going to be cool, and everybody could talk about whatever part that fancies them. But guys, I'm gonna be here with none other than my guy, your guy, the most sensible guy I met so far. Probably had one of the coolest ways to propose to a person ever. If you didn't hear that part of the story, then ask and maybe he'll repeat it. But guys, I'm going to bring in right now none other than again, Mayne Games.
Oh my gosh, what's going on, man? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? You know I can't leave that alone, man.
Yeah.
That was one of the most epic things I got to witness, man.
Well, I appreciate that, man. How you
love
doing?
it. So how are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. Absolutely. Got a lot to talk about.
Dude, and you know what's cool, Mayne, is I love that you watch wrestling and you play games and you live life. So I'm dying to get your thoughts on a bunch of different things. So this is cool for me because I like to keep things together, but I'm like, dude, this is life. So sometimes I segregate, hey, we're just going to talk about this. And then I'm like, oh, but something cool happened in gaming. And today I'm like, dude, I got to do it all. So thank you for joining me on this journey. But
it's my pleasure, man.
Man, thank you so much. And with that said, let's bring in my little brother, Dave Jimenez, Mr. Great One, aka Greeneyez. I'm gonna bring him in here right now. The sharpest looking guy at my wedding. He was rocking his tux. Dave, come on down. Cloud Man.
The tie, baby. Win, lose, a tie, baby. It's G-Man forever.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
What up? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
What's up? Pardon my scruffiness. I ain't feel like
Oh
shaving.
man, look,
You know.
I'm over here looking like Jerome from Martin.
See, now I actually shaved last night, which is crazy. But so guys, this is cool, right? I live in New Jersey. Dave lives in New Jersey. Mayne lives in
Southern California.
Southern Cal. Ah, there you go, Southern California. Would it be? How could we really touch the world, right? If we just kept it here in the U.S. So bringing in right now, typically he's on Tatooine or all around the galaxy. Who knows where he's coming from today? Sometimes he's transformed into a firebird. My guy, Hoults.
I feel like I have to say the UK national anthem, God Save Our Cloud Gaming, you know.
Hey, something, right? Hoults, what's going on, man?
I just nearly wanted to throw Melon out my PC. I was like, gonna get out of here, because I tried to keep on changing camera and the backdrop, and it just kept on freezing. I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna join the show and don't worry about it. So
That's it, man.
because Rock joked round and said, because he sees like these two C's behind me, he said I look like Princess Leia with the fucking the So I tried to get rid of that, but I couldn't get rid of it. But I just mentioned it now. So now you've saw it, you can't unsee it. Put your head in between.
Princess. So Hope, this is my and Dave always got his stuff, man. Brandon King right there. This is my second week of using Melon, and so I'm getting my first week, I'm stumbling every show. Now I'm getting to know, okay, that's where that is. What I'm gonna probably do, maybe I'll use it for one more week, and then next week I'll go back to StreamYards. So since I use StreamYards for over a year, then I look like a tornado in Dave's car. Thing was like,
that man Tito Santana came through.
Well, it must be my history catcher or something, because this logo behind me is not actually set as any default background image. So for some strange reason, it's still got the image behind me, and I've been on many shows where it's just been black. So I don't know why it's actually popped back up, unless it's the data cache on the browser or something.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be interesting. All right, guys. So with that said, we got 4 of us. This is pretty cool. Where do we start? So I want to touch 3 things, right? I want to talk about the world as a whole, the world as we know it, life as we know it. And but I gotta get into wrestling. And okay, here my wife walking, coming through. She was walking with authority, man. I was like, oh, to stab me or something. But and
as the wife comes past with authority, you slightly duck your head. What's the matter, baby?
Hey, she's making breakfast for dinner today. Hello. Yeah, actually, Hoults, you being that you're 5 hours ahead of us, did you eat dinner yet? Well, I'm pretty sure you did.
I did. I had a mince curry, so it was actually lovely. Big bowl of mince curry with like mushrooms, onions, and it was just spicy. So
nice.
I'm already stuffed. I've had my chocolate bar, now I've got my Pepsi, so I'm all sugared up now for the show. Yeah, but I've been like that. Who said PlayStation?
Yeah, right. Guys, where do you want to start with?
We could start with that whack ass Royal Rumble.
Please.
Well, hold on. So let me say this. I know #media guy wanted to jump on, but he's always like, I can't never figure this guy out. He's here, he's not, right? But he did say he was going to come in. I gave him a link. So let's do this. I don't think anybody specifically have or wanted to talk about life as we know it, but let's start there, right? And see how far we go. So life as we know it for me is just what's up, what's going on, how you guys doing, how's life, what's going on in life. So I started off and I asked Hoults what did he eat. So let me just go down the line. Mayne, did you eat yet?
I actually have food waiting right over there on the bar for me right now. Nice Alberto's potato burrito that I'm gonna get into shortly.
Hey, listen, Mayne. Let's listen. Bro, grab your food. Hey, Mayne, you could always do this right here.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, man, this is one of those professional shows. Nobody got a tie on.
And
You know,
every time I see Mayne have a bite, I'm going to say, "Oh, what does it
Don't
taste
do
like?
that. Don't
oh,
do that.
oh, it looks nice. Can you chew a little bit more?"
because when my wife bring this bacon and eggs, I'm eating.
Are you going in? Okay, I'm gonna make sure I dab my face before I
Yeah,
turn the
man,
camera
that
back on
is a little
too.
bit, yeah. Now, like if I go on, like let's say Cloud Gaming Extreme, you know, some of these shows,
Right,
you know, they're, you know, you gotta be like,
right,
oh,
right.
you know, but let's go. You know,
Okay, I appreciate that, man.
yeah, definitely, man. I want your food to get cold. Dave, my man, did you eat dinner yet? Or listen, your wife always be in the kitchen making us something good that I always gotta see on Facebook and be like, yo, come on, bro. Well, what's going on? Did you eat yet or what?
Nah, not yet, not yet. We actually probably gonna order out tonight.
Okay, nice.
So I'm gonna give her a break from cooking, so
Mm-hmm.
she just needs to let me know what she's in the mood for, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so no cooking, no nice picture tonight of
Okay.
her great dinner, but you know.
I always find it's easier to ask people what don't they want than actually what they want. Because when you say to people what you want, they go anything. That's not an answer.
Yep.
Anything. So I think it's better to name all the stuff that they don't like until they snap and go, "I'll have pizza." There you go. We'll have pizza.
Put those options out. Yeah, my wife would do that too. She's like, "What do you want?" No, I'll ask her, "Well, what do you want?" She's like, "Anything." I name something. She's like, "I don't want that." Like, that's it. Anyway, yo, so let's go to the chat real quick. Hey Dave, wait, do you have a preferred something you want?
As far as like dinner,
Yeah. Like if you know.
nah, with the way she cooks, I don't care what it is.
No, I mean you guys are gonna order out today. So is there certain something you would prefer if you order out?
Like I said, you know, she's gonna choose what
Okay.
we're gonna order. So, I mean, she pretty much has a very similar palate as I do, or taste buds as I do. So, if she likes it, I'm probably gonna like it anyway. So,
All right. Sounds like a plan.
can't go wrong with pizza.
Well, that is true. We got my guy Mike Pannon in the building. What's up, Mike? I call you a cowboy. My guy Josh Waring. It's a peace, gentlemen. Hey, stop hating, man. Dang.
Well, you dance?
Nah, because I was like,
Oh, I was about to say,
getting
oh
hungry.
man.
Getting hungry. However, Mayne, I do. Dancing is one of my favorite things to do.
Oh boy,
Really?
don't get him started, man. Don't get him
I
started.
used to be at the club battle dancing. Listen, that was my life, man.
Oh boy.
Real. Jokes aside. I mean, I got a bunch of videos on my camera. I'll just pull them up. Dave, stop hating.
Nobody hating, but all the videos is gonna show him doing the same dance in every video.
Hey, bro, you gotta have certain dance. I got my certain dance. I'm doing my dance. You know that?
No matter what the song is, he's gonna be doing the same dance in every video.
I can see him the giddy up horsey dance.
I do that too.
That's the cowboy dance move. Giddy up, little cowboy.
All right, anyway. Yo, y'all killing me, man. Let's see. He said, Mayne got that dope shirt. All right. And he said, very wise hopes. All right, cool. So, guys, we are going to start this thing off and just talk about a little life as we know it. You know, so we're all, you know, my food is coming. Mayne food is ready. Hoults already ate. Dave is throwing up to Brooklyn because Dave is a New Yorkian originally.
Is it what?
New Yorkian.
No, I'm a Brooklynite.
All right, whatever.
That's what it's called, the Brooklynite.
Well, listen, I was in Brooklyn too, so you know, I'll you know. But now, you know what's funny? So my wife was in Oklahoma as a kid, a baby. So she don't know nothing about Oklahoma, right? So whenever Oklahoma is in a movie or a show, I'd be like, Oklahoma. She was like, really? So last night we was watching something and she was like, Brooklyn, Anthony, Brooklyn. I was like, ha, ha, ha. But Dave, you could actually say something about it.
Shout out to Josh for saying BK's in the building. Absolutely.
The building. Hide your wife, women, and children.
Gotta throw the BK up. BK up.
Yeah, Dave definitely is always getting me, man. Dave and I, man, do we love going back and forth on just about anything. Anyway, so all right, so we've got through the whole food thing. Guys, is any interesting news that's non-gaming and non-wrestling that happened recently that you guys wanna discuss?
Rihanna is pregnant.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
Rihanna
wow.
is pregnant. Her and ASAP Rocky apparently are going to have a baby.
Wow, Rihanna is pregnant. That's what's up. Last night we was watching this Janet Jackson story, and they was talking about when she was 50 years old, she had a baby and all that stuff, which was kind of cool. They went through her whole like life, relationships, and all that. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anybody here is a Rihanna fan? Holt, you look like a Rihanna fan.
I know a few songs. I wouldn't say no to her. I think she's absolutely gorgeous, even though she's pregnant. So, but that was a crash. So to me, it's like I know a few songs. I've danced to a few songs. I've sang a few songs, but I wouldn't sit there and say I'm a Rihanna fan. I'm just someone that appreciates some of her good chart music.
That man say you look like a Rihanna fan. I like, how does somebody look like Rihanna?
Oh man, wow, it just sounded good at the time.
I do have an umbrella, so that's as class as actually
there we
one of the
go.
lyrics to look around.
There
I've
we
got an
go.
umbrella as well.
Well, hear me out, guys. So we're talking about life as we know it, and we just mentioned music, right? So I got something new I want to do on the show, right? And I think I like this format to discuss different things. But on the show, every time I do this show, every episode, what I want to do is I want to have someone to promote, right? I want to like blow someone's channel up. I don't care if you're a dog walker. I just want to really let the world know that you're great at your craft and people should tune in. So for the people watching and you guys as well, I want at this time, since we're talking about music and Dave brought it up. So let's a nice transition, right? I want to bring up a guy that's very dear to my heart. And I want to talk about him real quick, maybe like 5 minutes, but I want to give him a big plug, a big shout out. I think everybody who's watching, everybody who's listening, and even if you're watching after the fact, I'm going to timestamp when he came in, and I want everybody to follow his channel. All right. So I'm bringing out none other, and this is kind of a cool surprise for you guys because you didn't know, but none other than a guy that I went to high school with.
Oh, wow.
He has been very instrumental in my life. We went through a lot of stuff. We dated sisters at one point. We lived in the same house. And my guy that you might have seen in many videos with me, DJ Justin Love.
Yo, what's good? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
That's what's up. What's good, y'all?
What's up?
What's going on,
Chilling,
man?
man. Chilling. Anthony, I want to say I appreciate you for the incredible introduction, we'll call it.
Hey, listen, you and me, we host events and weddings together, and that's what we do. You hype me up. Whenever we do an event, I hype you up, but I'm happy that you could join. And I just want to get into you for a moment, man. So you probably never met Hoults. Hoults, let me real quick. Hoults is my dude. He's the guy from offshore. Sometimes Hoults be on Tatooine, but Hoults, you hail from what part of the UK?
Northwest from Liverpool.
All right, so northwest of Liverpool. We know Hoults as the accent guys, and many women are like, we love this accent. And my guy Dave, you already know my guy Big Dave. I don't have to say anything else about Dave besides he was in my wedding. You was there. And my guy Mayne Games, he's just the chillest dude. And he's here today to talk about some wrestling, life as we know it, and video games. But right now, I just wanted to put them out there to you. But this is your thing right now, man. So can you just real quick tell me because we chatted earlier today, but give me a little bit of insight into what you're doing, your background, and why you're the person I'm picking for today, man, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So, as Anthony said, we went to high school together back in the day, and we've hosted weddings together. I am a DJ, Justin Love Entertainment, DJ Justin Love in the flesh, and my background basically is just music. I love music to death. Literally today, y'all got to check this out. I just picked up some vinyl turntables, and I had to grab the picture disc Vince Purple Rain album. Was like, why not, right? But yeah, just DJ and the music. I'm trying to grow my brand, grow my business. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers on TikTok so I can start streaming live gigs and just live sessions. There was a time when on Facebook I was doing a Monday and Thursday, a motivational Monday and a throwback Thursday, and Facebook will shut you down. They don't even care. They don't care what you're trying to do. They know you don't own the music. We all know DJs don't own the music. We play the music. If anything, they need to change the laws to where when DJs play music, it's like when reporters or when reviewers review stuff, where there's some form of, I forget what it's called off the top of my head right now. But they definitely need to make it so it's easier for
Copywriting?
DJs to do their thing.
Is it the copywriting?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what it's called. But yeah, like where you could showcase like a Nintendo game or a Namco game and you don't get flagged or shut down because you're doing a review. That's basically all DJs do is play and review music for other people to listen to. But if you guys would follow me on TikTok, I'm at about 750 followers now. Trying to hit that 1,000 so I can live stream. I would really appreciate y'all.
All right, J Rock. If you get to 1,000, would you come on here and do a little set?
Oh, no doubt. What?
So let me tell the people how dope you are. All right. So now let's get into this. First of all, guys, when COVID first hit, my wife and my daughter had this ideal to do Club COVID-19. I know it sounds crazy at first, but my birthday's in April. My daughter's birthday in April. So my daughter was like, let's dress the whole house up to make it look like a club. So I was like, we gotta have some official music. I said, you know what? I'm about to hit Justin up, and Justin from his house, guys, this is on video. From his house, he DJ'd a set and he streamed and I had it on my TV. So when you came through, it was like a club. We was playing music. He's like, live from Club COVID-19. It was so cool. But Justin did that for me. And guys, we did so many events together. We got a contract to do to work with a school. We did their daddy-daughter dance, their 8th grade graduation, their gala. What else I'm missing, Jay? 5 of their events. I know. They're a Halloween.
We did quite a few of their events.
Trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat, yeah. The trunk or treats are always fun.
Yeah, man. And I dress up and run around look crazy while Justin get to laugh at me. But yeah, Justin is a great guy. And guys, if you can, please follow my man Justin. As you see, the link is here. I don't even care if you click on the link right now to take you off of this video, but just go follow Justin real quick. Let's push him up there. He's a great guy. Justin, if you don't mind, I'm not stepping on toes, but would you want to tell him about your weight loss journey, man?
Actually, sure. I almost wish I had a picture of myself right now, but I pretty much refer to life now as 200 pounds ago. Because back in July of, was it last year? I think it might be 2 years ago. I underwent weight loss surgery. Since then, I've lost clear over 200 pounds. And life for me now is a completely different journey. It's a completely different animal. I'm able to do things and experience life in a completely different way. I wouldn't change a thing, and I feel absolutely amazing.
Oh, that.
Congrats, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I just followed you, bro.
Awesome. I appreciate y'all so much.
And I will do the same.
Guys,
Thank you.
Justin is man, my guy, man. We went through so much together. Like I said, dating sisters, and you could just imagine living in the same house. And it's just been a honor having him as a friend and a business partner as well. He's a DJ and he loved music so much. And when he became a DJ, it was just like, wow, this makes sense. That you became a DJ, man. and because your love of music for so much. But Justin, the thing is, I'm gonna pull this up and show the people myself. So you don't have
Oh,
to
you
worry.
got it before me? Oh Lord, here we go.
Got you, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Justin, what happened to the rest of you?
For real. Now I actually do have some video on my TikTok where yes. Oh my
Yeah,
God, yes.
Check it out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this was J Rock. I wish I could bring it closer and then land. Bam. Crazy.
Oh yo.
Yeah.
Totally different fella.
It's life changing. It's absolutely life changing. Yes, Mr. Urban World, I am an anime fan, indeed.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, so I was actually able to bring it in more. And this is crazy, your journey and how fast you went through your journey and lost so much weight. But kudos to you, man.
absolutely.
And by the way, I still have yet to reach my final form.
Mm,
That was
okay.
good. That was good.
Mr. Urban World, if you don't go follow J Rock right now, I'm gonna burn down your house. Right? That's how it is. I'm sorry. That goes for all of y'all too. I'm just saying.
And Mr. Urban World, I'm gonna be the one to supply the gasoline.
Oh,
Here we go. We in this together. My boy Suave Polo. Hey, Suave.
Suave.
Jump in if you're free. The link is in the chat. But before you do that, click on
Both.
the link
Both.
and go follow my guy, DJ Justin Love.
please come holler at me. I can't wait to live stream. I can't wait to play some music for you. I really can't.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
excited and hyped.
And Jay, tell the people, man, people who are, I mean, this is a business thing too. If somebody's local or close enough, you could host an event.
No, that'd be dope. I am located in Jersey. I'm located in Towns River area. If you ever want to holler at me, I have a website, justinloveentertainment.com. You can go there, find wedding packages. I have a few pictures and videos up. I even have sets for my Mixcloud. So you can actually hear me DJ on my website. So please go check that out. I'm venturing. It's funny because I was born in the late 70s, early 80s. So I grew up in a time when DJs were just coming up in New York. And I am also a technology nerd. So if you check the setup back there, that's my DJ controller, DJ SX3. But over here, I just picked me up vinyl set of turntables and a mixer. I'm trying to take it back to the old school, play on that vinyl, that realness, feel that real warmth of the music. I'm just trying to do it all.
Yeah, man.
Was that Halo I saw?
I'm sorry, what's up?
I was saying, was that Halo I saw in the background?
That's how, you know what? Me and Izzy been talking about this. That's actually Taurus.
Oh, okay.
This game is fire.
Yeah. Real quick, Jay, let me bring somebody else in. My guy, aka Coda Stadia, because I'm gonna still call you that, but hashtag media guy is in the building. Somebody else in, my guy. And you gotta mute the stream in the background. Hashtag. Hey Jay, listen, man, I'm not done with you yet, though, man.
Okay.
So now that we got you here, man, tell the people a little bit about you. You're a gamer as well. You're a wrestling fan as well.
Indeed, I am.
Yeah. So I mean. Oh, hold on. Pastor, you? Hold up. Let's see. All right. Hello. All right, hold on. All right, hello. All right, cool. All right, we can't hear me no more, right? All right. Yeah, Jay, I think your background, something was picking up the sound or whatever. But I think it's good now.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, cool. Nope. We just lost. He'll be back. I know hashtag sometimes his internet is a little off, but he'll be back. So Jay, help us out real quick. Before we had you come on, and let me just so Josh said he followed you as well. I think you're muted. Let me make sure I didn't. Yeah, I don't have you muted. You're muted right now. Just hit like the button at the bottom that says mute. Still muted. What you could do sometimes, if you just pop out and pop back in, like if something changed, you could just pop out, pop back in, and it'll fix itself. Let me see. Mr. Urban World said, which house have this guy? Listen, hey, tell him again, Dave.
Both of them.
All right, so whenever Jay come back, I'll have him back in. And then let's just so we're not here all night, we're gonna get into
It's your boy Bruce Campbell.
Bruce, my boy Bruce Campbell is in the building. Bruce, if you can, my good sir, follow my guy Justin. He was just on, he's coming back. He's a DJ and he's trying to get to 1,000 followers so he is able to actually mix on TikTok, which is cool. That's kind of cool that they don't have those same rules, which is cool. I don't know how long you're able to stream for over there, but hey, if he could get in a couple sets just to show his skills, that'd be cool. Also, to everybody who's just tuning in, what I want to do every day is I want to have a little thing where I just kind of promote someone's content they do. If they could get on, cool. If they can't, I'm just gonna do it myself. I'm just gonna randomly pick some people because there's a lot of great content creators out there. There's a lot of great businesses. There's a lot of great people out there. And if I could just use my little smidget of a channel, that somebody be like, oh really, and then help that person out. And I've seen a lot of times. So real quick story time, guys. This has to do with life as we know it. I did a sit down discussion with this girl I know, right? Let me move this from Dave's face. I did a sit down discussion, and she does she has this, I don't even know what you call it, but she could heal people with her hands. I know it sounds crazy, but this is her belief, right? And she has a business out of it. Well, my family's from Jamaica, and I'm not really that close to my family from Jamaica, but when my dad passed away, I ended up meeting my dad's wife and some sisters and brothers, blah, 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 right? And so someone from Jamaica reached out to her and wanted her to come to Jamaica and do a whole thing, and they was going to pay for the trip and everything. So she actually made business with a bunch of people just from doing that show with me that day, and I had no clue that would have happened. So we just don't know who we know, and networking is a mother effer, boy. You don't know. So I just want to take a little bit of time to start doing that, which I thought would be pretty cool. And but let's bring Justin back on here. Let's bring hashtag back on here. Let's see. So hashtag, give me a mic check. Hashtag, give me a mic check.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Give me a mic check.
Mic check. Can you hear me, Dub?
Loud and clear. Cool. So guys, this is DJ Justin Love. I was telling you guys about. Let me pull him up real quick. My guy, DJ Justin Love. He's a DJ, and he's been. You muted again, Jay. All right, say something now. You know what? This happened to King Thrash the Realist. This guy named the Realist came on my show, and he said for whatever reason his mic wasn't connecting, which is weird. But Jay's mic
as his mic input defaulted to something stupid like an output instead. That's what usually happens to me.
I just changed the default. Can you guys hear me now?
Is it the melon?
Yeah, he's good now. Say something, Jay.
Yeah, I should be good now.
Yep, you're great. So no, I was just telling people who just came in, about you being a DJ, and yeah, if you got some minutes, stick around for a little bit. But I was putting you on the spot real quick, and we're gonna get into some wrestling in a little bit. Hashtag, I know that's what you was coming for, so we can jump on that next. But Jay, listen, man, is there a topic or something in the world that happened recently that you want to discuss that we all could chime in on? Like Dave told us
regarding wrestling?
No, just life in general, not wrestling related and not gaming related.
Oh wow. Yeah, you are putting me on the spot. I don't know. Right now, I live in Jersey, and all it is in Jersey is cold and snowy and disgusting. So
So
all I've been doing is sitting at home playing video games and watching wrestling.
you like, listen, that's my source content right now. So let me ask you this. Let's do this. So you and I both live in Jersey. I got
Right.
about 6 something inches, I guess, of snow. What about you?
Man, we got like a full 2 feet.
Oh wow, hit the shore harder. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they gave us. I also drive a school bus for a living, and they gave us today off.
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah. Dave, what about you? What was your weather like?
It was pretty bad over here. It was pretty bad. I mean, thank God the development that I live in, you know, they plow everything pretty good. You know, the guys come through with their shovels. The guys that actually work for the development, they come through with their shovels and they clear the walkways and all that other stuff. But we pretty much stocked up on salt
Okay.
and was able to, sprinkle the salt on the walkway. So the walkway is pretty clear. I mean, other than that, you know, the snow was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. It was to the point where I didn't go to work yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm downplaying how much snow I got, but I didn't go out all weekend, and I just went to work today, and my son cleaned off my car for me. So I guess I didn't experience the snow at all. So maybe I'm downplaying a little bit. But Mayne, what is it like where you live at in sunny California right now?
Well, actually, it's cloudy right now, which I actually like. I like rain. I like all that stuff. When you live out here, for me, and there's a whole bunch of sun, it's overrated. For me anyway. So every time it gets cloudy, it's a welcome change for me. So it's looking real good from where I'm at.
What's the temperature like?
Temperature, I believe it's 66 right now.
Nice.
Yeah, 66. Yeah, so it's
Man, I wish it was 66 in Jersey right
Yeah,
now.
right. Hashtag. What is the weather like, and what state are you in, or where you at?
I'm in Wisconsin. It's not too bad.
Yeah, never mind. what's the weather like?
It's not too bad. It's cold and wet and crappy as usual.
Got you. I'm like, oh man. Just so you know, my guy Bruce Campbell said he just followed.
Yes, thank you, Bruce. I appreciate that.
That's what's up. And Mr. Urban Roll said, he said, keep playing with me, and I'll make Justin my best friend. Anime fans stick together.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
We do. We do.
Oh, hold on. My
Me and my girl, we just binge watched wow, brain fart.
Well, let me ask Holt, what's your weather like? Why are you trying to figure that out?
Oh, we've got 96-mile-an-hour winds. So here it's just like, you go out there, you're going to get blown to Oz. You go out there, you can just hear bins flying everywhere down the street. So it's not very luxury here. It's always grey. It's always grey round here. So every time I heard you guys have heat.
Did you say 96-mile-an-hour winds?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Tornado winds.
Yeah, that's probably storm weather right there.
Years ago, the speeds were quite high, and I was going to Florida, so I flew over to Florida, and it was said that there might be actually, gale winds, tornadoes, and all that. And I was walking around in shorts and t-shirts, and everyone was like sellotaping them, boarding up the windows, and I was like, "What's this wind? I just came from like 96 miles an hour wind." And then another time, I went to a heavy metal festival in Donington. It was the Download Festival, and I pitched me tent, and we got told that there was actually going to be high winds that night. So I went to bed drunk, and when I woke up, the whole field was destroyed. Tents were harpooned, barbecues are everywhere. It was just, so when it gets here, it gets crazy. So
that sounds,
but it's good. It's good. There's a positive. We've got wind farms by our seaside, so we're off the Irish Sea, so we've got wind farms, so it's actually good for the electricity. So
Yeah, definitely.
oh well, that's pretty cool. All right, so let me ask you guys this. I want to get a little crazy. All right, let's get a little crazy. So, and when I say this, it's gonna be crazy, and you guys are gonna be like, "What?" But I want us to try to join in. I'm gonna start with you, Mayne. Are you ready? If you could die in a crazy way, and it would make So you're gonna go out in the most crazy way. Let's say you're gonna die anyway, right? Not peaceful, not in your sleep. But if you was to die in a crazy way for the whole world to remember, like what the can you describe a crazy, insane death? I want each of us to try to come up with something.
Ooh, for me, so this is public knowledge. People know this, especially like in my streams or whatever. But I have this fear of orcas,
Oh,
and
Wait a
I'm
minute, wait a
sorry.
minute, wait, back it up.
yeah,
What'd you say?
Free Willy?
yeah. Like,
There's a reason why they're called killer whales. They're after Mayne. Like,
Thank you. I was thinking that shit. Hell yeah.
so I think for me, one of the craziest ways to go out would be by one of them on TV, because everybody says there's no reported attacks in the wild. Well, it would be that day, change the game, and they would live up to their name, and that's the whole point. Gotcha. Now listen to me when I say the thing. They come on, man. They the wolves of the sea. They the apex predator. Come on, man.
so you
Yeah.
went come on, make it roll it up.
They hunt seals and play with sharks for fun.
Yeah, I maybe it would be like, somebody would take me out there. Maybe it would be a kind of like a dare, right? They probably say, oh well, you going out there and you going for a swim in the ocean and whatnot. But what he doesn't know, he doesn't know that there's an orca, blah 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 blah. And take me out there, swim out there, and do all this stuff. And all of a sudden, we go close to the pod or whatever, and boom, all the whole thing. You see me scream and cry and probably shit. Who knows what else? And I'll be swimming back to shore or whatever, and then they get me, slam me around, they toss me around just like a seal. I think that would be how it would go, and boom, and then you would hear somebody play the Michael Jackson song from Free Willy.
so it's not the Jaws theme tune; it's the Michael Jackson theme song. As they throw you up in the air.
That was pretty good. All right, so guys, if you're just tuning in, we're just discussing explain a crazy way, an extreme crazy death that you would have. Now, Mayne said he would get gobbled up by killer whales. All right. Let me jump in there real quick. So, and guys, if you're just tuning in, like my neighbors are freaks and Daisy rocks, please do me this favor, right? Whether you are a TikTok person or not, but just do me this favor. My guy, DJ Justin Love, is a guest today, and we're just promoting his channel. He has a goal to reach 1,000 followers, and he's at 7 something. And then he would actually be able to do some DJ gigs on TikTok. And the reason why it's important, because he's not regulated like on all the other platforms. So he'll literally be able to use his creativity. So if you guys can, the link is right there. I pinned the link as well. Let me make sure I did pin the link. Yes, I did pin the link. So you guys, please subscribe to his channel or follow him on TikTok. All right, so you guys ready for this? All right, let me get crazy. Get a little graphic. So I've always had this crazy thought in my head of a crazy death. Okay. Now, have you guys seen the movie Hereditary?
Good movie.
Crazy movie. But Mayne, you remember that crazy death scene?
I know where you're going. Which
right,
one?
so,
You're talking about the smashing.
In the car.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
the allergy scene.
crazy.
Never mind. I just got confused with Midsummer.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I never seen that, but I still need to see that. But so I'm not gonna ruin it for anybody who didn't see the movie, but see the movie. It's a mind trip. It's crazy. So I always picture what would be crazy is if I was driving in the car. I don't know why in this theory, in my little story in my head, I pictured a little girl this happening to, but we're gonna say it's happening to me because it'd be crazy and terrifying. So let's say my wife was driving and I was in the back seat of the car and I'm by the window. And, people drive in the car and they just always had their hand
with
out
his Happy Meal. Cowboy with his Happy Meal in the back.
Kicking his feet.
Yeah. Sandy's like, stop doing that, or you're going to bed when you get in.
So let's just say I'm in the back seat for whatever reason, right? Jay is back. And so Jay, check it out, right? I'm in the back seat, right? And I got my hand out the window because, you know, maybe it's a hot day and I'm just, you know, whatever. I'm just waving my hand, right? I was feeling stupid. And we're driving down a road and it's a lot of trees, okay? And think of, let's say, like West Virginia, wrong turn, that type of stuff, right? And I got my hand waving and out of nowhere, and let's just say we're doing 60 miles an hour. And I'm waving my hand out the window. And out of nowhere, at 60 miles an hour, and I'm waving my hand, and it's trees are driving by, right? And a rope of some sort just catches my wrist as we're going 60, and the car goes this way, and this thing just yanks my body, and the force of me in the car doesn't yank me out the car because, let's say, the window wasn't fully up, so my body bounces against the inside of the car, and it make the car kind of yank, and it just don't necessarily rip my arm off, but just crack my body, and the car go off his wheels and slam down, and I'm pretty much just broken from the force of a car driving at 60 miles an hour, and something just yanked my arms. Sorry, Mayne.
I was looking at Justin's face. That's the face of a guy who's heard those stories many, many times.
Okay. So that would be mine. Dave, give it to us, man. You watch all movies.
I do. It's always been a thing of mine that I wanted to go skydiving, right?
Oh.
And I would figure, okay, me and all the fellas that I know, we all go skydiving together.
Mm-hmm.
We all go into, you know, you've seen the professional skydivers and all that, hold hands in a big circle while they all coming down. And then when they all hit, everybody pulls their drawstring and their parachutes open. Well, in this particular moment, everybody's chute opens up except for mine.
Oh.
Ooh.
So there's no coming back.
You do. You better dart your ass into a pencil and hit the nearest person that's near you and hold on to their back.
Well,
we're going down together, B.
Oh, you know,
Me and Super Animal Royale right there.
My name is not Patrick Swayze, and this is not Point Break. I don't know how to do all that stuff.
Yeah, but here's the problem. If all their parachutes went, they're going to be stopped a little bit, and he's going to go straight down. And you can't just undo your parachute and go get somebody. So, yeah, he's done.
Good point. What do you do? Like in those situations, like, I even think, like, what do you do? Like, what goes through your mind? You're that high up. You know that you're going to go, but you still got a long way to think about it. Like, you got a long way to go. What goes through your mind?
But they say that long way don't last long because it only
might have a heart attack too.
Yeah,
I probably would.
Yep. Last Christmas or Valentine's Day, last Valentine's Day, my wife took me to surprise me with indoor skydiving. And they explain to you that, which is crazy when I say this. Hear me out. It looks like you're falling for minutes, but you're falling for seconds. Like you watch movies, you think they're up there for like 23 minutes.
Yeah.
No, you're up there for like seconds. So less than a minute. So yeah, he's right. You bam. Also, guys, that video is on the channel, so make sure you check it out.
I like this whole discussion in the chat about what everybody's vaping.
That's why I put this up there for Bruce to see. Yeah. Strawberry glazed donut.
And I want to say real quick, my neighbors are freaks and Daisy Rocks is my real life neighbor, and she used to come on every episode of Sandy and Anthony show. But she had a lot going on, and so I haven't seen her watch one of my streams in a very long time. So I just want to shout out to her and say it's cool just to see you back into the stream. That's pretty cool. All right, Hoults, let's hear it, man.
Well, my one now would be I'll be in Mr. Urban World's house playing VR, drinking the soda streamer. Then out of nowhere, I can smell gasoline, and I'm like, what the hell's that? And I hear two familiar voices going, "You should have subscribed. You should have subscribed." As the whole house burns down. So thanks to the show.
That was the part of that. Hey, Dave, that would be you and me burning his house down because we didn't subscribe, but Hoults would be in it.
And I just heard the familiar voice go, "Oh shit, man, was that the right house?" And there's me with VR going, "What the fuck's happening?"
Yo, that is classic. That is classic. We about to make a movie. One of the worst deaths I've ever seen, and this would be me again. I remember hearing people going on safari, and they've lowered the window down to have a look out. And then what they've done is they've lowered the window down, looked out, and as they know, without knowing, an actually lion has actually sort of crouched beside the car. And as they lifted the head out the window, the lions just went, ripped the head right off. And I think that'll be something stupid and something that I'll be scared of doing. But I can see that. So we've got Mayne with orcas and me with the Lion King. So
dude, that's another thing, man. I was gonna say, dude, is like just imagine, like for me, imagine being on a pier, and some of those orcas, depending on where they are, they come close to the pier. So just imagine the way that the color scheme is, they can blend in. So just imagine I'm jumping off, and I jump right into the mouth of one of them damn things. Oh nah.
It'll be Mayne's luck that'll be a suicidal orca that just jumps on land. Hits him.
I'll be done. That's nightmare fuel for me. I'm not scared of nothing. I'm not scared of nothing else but them. I actually heard the story with.
I heard the story about Disney. Was it SeaWorld that the trainer, her hair sort of tickled the orca and it dragged her down to the water, and she was actually fighting to get up, and everyone thought, "Oh, it's playing," and it didn't, ripped her to shreds.
Yeah, it's a documentary called Blackfish. Check it out. It really is about the mistreatment of them and how the story of them being in captivity. But they basically paint a picture of why they don't belong in captivity, and something that big and that intelligent, they hold grudges and they remember, and they'll play with you for these next couple of years, but they know one time they're gonna get fed up, and you jump in that water with them, and you say, "Okay, it's time to do this flip." You say, "Well, we about to flip, all right. I'm about to flip your ass right up out of this water," and that's it.
That's why you see some of them with their fins be all flopped over.
Yeah, they're depressed. Absolutely,
they're depressed. Yeah, it's true.
No joke.
I didn't know that's a fun fact. So when the fins curl, it's depressed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They can do all. They can hold their breath. Like orcas and dolphins, they've been in captivity known to hold their breath and be like, "I'm out of here." Yeah. And
Hashtag, give us a crazy death to you, man.
All right, man. Well, first of all, I was wondering whether Mayne has seen the movie Orca.
What's that hashtag?
Has Mayne seen the movie Orca?
I have, and that started it.
All right.
Bro, I was hoping you did.
Yeah,
man.
It was a mess.
Yeah, I guess I'd probably want to go out, and I mean this with no disrespect whatsoever. Obviously, I'm a huge Hart family fan, but I would kind of want to go out like Owen.
Yeah, what?
I would want to go out in the ring, WWE style.
Oh, like an accident?
Yep.
Well, we're not talking about Owen kind of style, right? You want to go out like Owen?
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh wow. Like
yeah.
Wow. So that would be exactly
or any wrestler who has died, or fighter that dies in the ring like that. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but don't forget, hashtag Owen didn't die right away.
I know that does suck.
That's the sad part.
Yeah,
the sad part is he
suck.
didn't die right away, so he might have been suffering. You know what I'm saying? That had to have been painful. I watched that when that happened. And
there was also an incident recently. I don't even know if the guy died or no. I don't think he did die, but there was some guy that went nuts and attacked a guy with a railroad spike. Did you hear about that?
What? No.
Yeah. He's like a big YouTuber, but he's also a wrestler.
Cannibal. Hannibal.
Yep.
Hannibal.
That's it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Attacked a guy with a railroad spike and put him in the hospital. Nearly killed him.
Tried to go straight New Jack.
For real.
Well, if Justin get to come back in, we'll get his. But guys, all right. So we did a good bit of I didn't think we was going to talk this much, but it's crazy. But this is pretty much life as we know it. And so now let's discuss a little bit of wrestling since we're talking about wrestling. Hoults, I'm not sure if you watch it or not.
Spinning it, man. I got that spinner. That Cena spinner.
I haven't watched wrestling since about 14 years maybe. That's all. It's a long time.
So the cool thing there wasn't many matches anyway. So, we're just let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. Hope stick around though, because we're gonna talk about some gaming, which I know you do know some about. So we get in the show off on that. But all right, so hashtag, please start this off because you're a big hater of the WWE. So I just need you to give me all the flames and fire you can. So go on. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and luckily, I just want to say this full disclosure because I've come on before and said I'm not a fan, I don't watch anymore, and I tuned out. But I have Peacock, I watched it in its entirety.
Really?
Okay. Yep. Start to
Yep.
finish, I
What
had.
you can hate today?
Yep. Well, no, I didn't know that was why, but yeah, it was terrible. I mean, it had some moments though, so that just the fact that I actually watched the whole thing does, like Mayne's clapping. Yeah, that's right. I mean, at least I watched it. Yeah, I actually, I stayed with it, but it was pretty bad. There was like, the opening match was good, but then it had that weird ending, the DQ ending with Seth and Roman. And then the women's rumble was pretty okay. I mean, it had its moments. I thought Ronda could have worked a little better in the end. I mean, I wasn't expecting her to like be totally ready to go or anything, but she didn't look ready to go. And the fact that the men's rumble was just so bad, and you could tell they're already saying that it was like reshuffled 30 times, and you can tell it was reshuffled 30 times. They had no idea what they were doing. I've heard Shane was like heavily pushing himself even though people in the back didn't want him to be out there. It's like one of the final four. It was bad. And also Dewdrop Becky was bad. I felt like maybe if they would have given Dewdrop the win, I mean, just surprise some people or something. I have nothing for WWE anymore. There's nothing I can say.
Fair enough. All right, so let's just all go around and talk about it a little bit, and then we could like get into our, before like anybody interrupt anybody. So, what about you, Dave? What was your thoughts overall?
I kind of agree with hashtag. It was kind of trash, especially all the rumbles that I've seen in the past and have seen what the WWE can do in the Royal Rumble. It goes back to what I've been saying since the beginning. If Vince's senile ass didn't get rid of so many people, he would have had so much more to work with. And because he didn't, he had to bring back all these old people in the women's Royal Rumble. Like, okay, it was cool to see Melina, even though she looked like she done had 7 kids,
Ivory, yeah.
Ivory, like that was corny as hell. And I mean, it's always cool to see Michelle McCool and Kelly and all those guys, but then the biggest mistake of the entire Royal Rumble was to see how Kofi Kingston fucked up. Basically,
straight botch.
Like he messed up. I mean, everybody was looking forward to Kofi, doing his little trick to not get eliminated and all this other stuff. They wanted to see something different than what he's done in the past. We done seen him go with grab one of the chairs from the commenter's desk, or walk the wall and hop onto the steps and all that. But as soon as he got knocked off the ropes, his feet touched, and it was obvious as hell. It was obvious as hell. There was nothing that Vince could do to try to fix that. But I mean, overall, the match between Roman and Seth was good, but to end it with a disqualification, that was trash.
Surprised by how good it was.
And then to have Brock Lesnar come back in the Rumble to win the Rumble when he just lost to Bobby Lashley was like, come on now. I think WWE was trying too hard. I think they were trying too hard.
Cool, Mayne.
To be honest, the highlight of the entire Royal Rumble can be summed up for me in 2 words, and it's hardcore country. The fact that we saw Mickie James show up with the Impact Knockouts
Yeah,
women's title in the Royal Rumble, even though they gave her that basic MS font, Impact World Champion up top, even though they did that, right? The fact that she made it to Mania, to Royal Rumble, she made it in. She
That was
didn't get eliminated immediately. She eliminated somebody and then hung in there for a while and put on a great showing. That to me was the biggest thing of the entire night to me, and that just says a lot about how I felt about this show. It was great to see. I don't know. Of course, we all know why, right? People are saying it's because it's part of the trash gate that everybody talks about. How she got let go and her things got sent to her in a trash bag, and Vince publicly, actually personally apologized to her, and so they had to make good on some things because of how that went down. Or it could have been maybe the door is coming down, but I did like the match with Roman and Seth also. I agree with everybody else's sentiments. I think that they should have handled that a little bit differently. I have no idea what the reason for that DQ was. I don't understand if you're trying to save Roman and Brock. If you're trying to save that match, you could have done other things and with other ways to have that happen. Yes, both guys look strong in the end because of that finish. But as far as the entertainment value, especially, I feel bad for the people who were in attendance who saw that, right? It's one thing we can dismiss it. We weren't there, right? So that's one aspect that I thought was really disappointing. But I was more interested in the women's Royal Rumble than I was the men's Royal Rumble. It was really disappointing to see what they were trying to do and how they were going about it. Brock, yes, he had won a Royal Rumble in 19 years, which they stated. So I understand that. Yes, he came back and yes, he won a Royal Rumble. Okay. But again, there were other people who could have been more deserving of that. You could have turned Mania into a triple threat and had Brock come in there and face Roman. There's again many different things you can do. You could have gone that way, but I feel like, much like people said, this is probably just as bad, if not worse, than the Royal Rumble in 2015.
they could have had Big E win the Royal Rumble. That'd have been nice.
Did you see that shot that he was visibly like disappointed?
Yeah, yeah,
You saw that? Like that
yeah,
was crazy. And then also Kofi was disappointed too.
yeah.
You could not see that. Like it was a difference. That wasn't him being professional. That wasn't kayfabe. He was upset. Like he
It's
was
true.
legit upset that happened, and that
Because
so quickly it was over.
I heard that they had something big planned between the both of them. Which I would have liked to see. Even though the New Day, they do their little, kitty stuff and all
Yeah.
that New Day rocks and all that other stuff. They still a legit team. They're a legit faction, if you could
Yeah.
say that. Even though it's
Man, there was a lot of
three-man
stuff that they
faction.
had planned that ended up by the wayside. They
Yeah.
had Kurt Angle in the back, and
I
they
heard
Oh
about that as well.
yeah, they
So
filmed some stuff. They didn't know what to do with it. They were thinking about using them. They didn't use them.
Mhm. And
yeah,
they
so
should have brought Dean back. Damn it! I'm gonna say it till I'm blue in the face. They should have brought Dean back. They
I
kept
don't know, after that book,
mentioning
I don't know if he
Mox
gonna ever come
all
back
the
for that.
time. They kept mentioning Mox all the time. Always mentioning Mox, Mox, Mox. Never saying Dean. But they could, to have Seth Rollins come out with the Shield music and then come out of the crowd. That was the highlight of the whole
That was a
Rumble
nice
for me.
touch.
That was cool.
That
I
was
thought
cool for me.
the way they handled the Mickey James thing was good too. I mean,
Yes,
that fact
I
that they
agree.
actually used the graphic and the belt and that said Impact
That was
Champion,
really cool. Her
that was
music.
cool.
No one in WWE ever heard hardcore country, her theme. Like no one ever heard that. So that was to me. I was really surprised when I heard that music come out. I mean that music come on and she came out with the belt and I was like, yo. And they advertised it. She did a post Rumble promo or interview with the championship. And so I thought that was really, like, to me, like that, what that symbolized, what it could symbolize, was why for me that was the greatest moment or the highlight of that night, because of the barrier that broke down. Regardless of where it goes from here, it happened.
I feel like her outfit was really bad that night though.
I agree.
You feel like what?
Her outfits, it just rubbed me
Yeah,
the wrong way that
yeah.
night. The boots and the whole outfit, it just looked goofy.
So let me jump in here real quick. Could I go now?
Yeah, man.
All right. First of all, let me tell you losers something. All right. Do you know about cause and effect? Things happen. So let's back it up a little bit. Roman got COVID, which made a lot of things change because Brock ended up winning the championship and then he ended up losing it, right? So I think he lost it because they want to obviously, which will be the biggest match of the year. I don't know who don't get this. Roman versus Brock at Mania, obviously. But how do you get there? Well, we could have had an elimination chamber and Brock could have won, right? But I'm going to say this, guys, not just because I'm a WWE guy, but I'm a WWE guy. And I like what they're doing. And me personally, let me get this out the way since most of you probably hated it. Personally, the biggest thing of the night, Mayne, was not Mickey James coming from who knows what the hell that little federation's called. It was Ronda Rousey coming back. Personally, I thought she was done.
Yeah, that's why you choked her.
Never thought she was gonna ever come back. She wanted to have a kid.
A
I didn't
choke.
realize she had a kid. My wife was like, "Yeah, she had a kid." I was like, "Oh, so she got her kid out the way." So personally, I thought it was official. She can't. I was literally like, "Oh my god!" like screaming because I didn't get it ruined. Like most of y'all probably already knew because I don't follow. This is why I don't follow the rumors because I would have been like, "Yeah, I already heard. Dave told me she was coming." But no, oh my god! So I was excited. So for me, that was the biggest thing. I'm happy that she won because if she came back and didn't win, what the hell? For what? So me personally, please, for the love of God, and this probably already got spoiled, I don't know, make her go against Becky at WrestleMania
She will.
because she was a bad guy when Becky won. Now Becky's a bad guy, whatever. So, all right, now, I know some people say she might go in Charlotte. I'll take that match too, but I want Becky. So anyway, personally, the Women's Rumble match was official for me. All the little throwbacks, little people. They got my girl Kelly. Just how we do. She's so nice. They named her twice, Kelly. But she got booted up out of there. It is what it is. You know, Ivory, I was like, yo, I was trying to explain all the different people to my wife. She was like, who the hell is that? I was like, yo. So me personally, I was in for the women's Royal Rumble. I liked it. I was happy Ronda came back. I was happy she won. I would have liked Becky to at least walk out when Ronda was pointing at the thing. That would have been cool as hell. If she came out with the little goats on her shoulders and whatnot, and then Ronda looked at her, that would have been cool. But you know, maybe we might get that tonight. So all right, cool. So women's Rumble, I was cool with. You know, the first match, like, whoa, did they start this thing off with Roman and Seth? And here's the thing, spoiler alert, just so you know, Brock Lesnar is a bigger star than Roman Reigns. I think they just trying to let you know that. But I think what Roman doing is probably the best thing that's going on in WWE. But personally, I thought it was official that my guy Seth, and Dave knows Seth was my guy from day one. He's my favorite. I like how he even rolled over the thing, did his whole little back in the day. All I needed him to do was have half his hair dye blonde, and I would have been like, yeah. Anyway, came out. Personally, I think they had a good match. Now, here's why I don't have a problem with the match. Because I'm a Seth fan. For me, I just thought there's no way in hell Roman isn't just going to beat Seth. It makes sense for him to be able to say, and I beat Seth because I never beat him on a big scale. Just like they let him beat the Demon. But for me, I was like, yo, technically, Seth, they could pull that down the road and have
Sir Overworld's funny.
I know, right?
down the road, they can have Seth versus Roman, and it could still be, but you never beat me, right? So they could keep that for back in the day. Plus, they made Roman get a little edgy. He flipped out, beat him up, whatever, right? All right, cool. We can get past the match. The guys Rumble, I will be honest with you guys, that was last, and I was starting to hate at that point. I fell asleep in the middle, so I don't even know what happened with Kofi.
He
So
fell asleep. That says it all.
Bro, I was tired, man. I don't know if you know, but my wife played over 12 hours of Resident Evil this weekend. We beat it from start to finish. And so just saying, I was tired. So anyway, we played almost 9 hours that day straight. Anyway, so check the video. My life is it's there. So but for the most part, Brock coming back, winning, so he could go. Obviously, he's gonna go against Roman at WrestleMania. Dude, I like the story. I like the crazy. See, I watch wrestling for its crazy, unrealistic, soap opera, right? So for me, I'm like, bro, I like it. Like, who else would have won? Oh, Big E should have won. Hell no. Come on, man. Let's stop playing around now. It made sense. Brock to win. Go against Roman. WrestleMania. Now, what happens at the Elimination Chamber? That's what we got to figure out now, because that obviously would be who's going to take on Bobby Lashley. But I think Bobby's going to put his foot up in the Elimination Chamber. So anyway, and then I didn't care so much for the Edge and Miz match. That was just like, that was a throwaway match for me. They did a great job. Beth is a beast. She shined out.
I was gonna say that was well wrestled at least.
Yeah, she shined out of everybody. And then go to the Bobby and Brock. I'm glad I got to finally see it. That's what I wanted. Not being a clear finish. I would have loved one of them to finish, but I get that this is WrestleMania season, and all these storylines today was pretty much just for WrestleMania. So that's why we didn't get a finish for both of the main events. But I was cool with it because I get what they're doing. It would have been nice to have a Bobby versus Brock at like a SummerSlam, because then you probably would have got a finish.
Did you catch the pre-show?
I did not watch the pre-show.
Oh man, you missed the best part.
I was playing Resident Evil.
Oh, Booker T was high as a kite, man.
What?
Booker T was high as a kite.
Gone.
Oh my God, his eyes were so cashed.
Oh, I gotta check that out. Let me ask you, because most of you guys, a lot of you left this out. What was what's your feelings on Ronda being back?
I love it.
Dave, you?
I mean, it was cool. You could tell just by looking at her that she had a baby. It was like right in your face. It was right in your face. The chick finally got some boobs.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was like, oh snap.
Hold on. If you look at somebody like Brie Bella, she lost that baby, sucked her dry.
Well, I mean,
and what's her name? The goat. Her baby sucked her dry. Like my girl Becky came back with nothing.
Well, but, Becky's gonna wind up. Hopefully she'll fight Ronda Rousey again, because
Becky.
Hold that thought, bro. Hold on, Dave. Hold on. Yo, she hit me with the French toast sticks, the eggs, the bacon. Oh, a little hash brown under there. But hold on. And then she hit me with the fruit plate. Got some strawberries, kiwis.
She hit you with the edible arrangements.
Yeah. All right. What's your name?
So she hit you with the edible arrangements.
Oh, and the syrup.
And there's more.
And then there's more.
Right. But wait, there's more.
Now she asked me if I want an orange mango juice or regular orange, but I'm just a straight orange guy myself.
What you want? You want some salt and pepper or some hot sauce too with that?
No. I think I'm good. But let's get out of this.
Funny, because my wife had French toast sticks earlier when she got home from work.
Okay. Did any of you guys know stuff that was going to happen? Like, I know you guys follow rumors. Did anybody know Ronda was coming back?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you did?
All of that.
I follow.
Mayne and I knew all that.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I knew, but for me, like what I do is I'm not much of a person that you could spoil. If I watch something, if I hear something, my thing is not about the fact that you spoiled it. I want to see how it comes together. So even if you tell me, oh, Luke Skywalker, Anakin's Darth Vader. Okay. Well, how does he get there?
And it doesn't matter anyway, because they're going to change it 5 times.
Right. So I think that it was cool that some of these were good, some of these were on point, some of these weren't. I think that's also the part that I really don't trip about either, is that they don't, some of them don't even come to fruition. So it's not even, it's okay. It's okay that they were spoilers.
Okay. But you knew, I mean, ahead of time.
I think in the case of like Mickey James is a really good example of what he's talking about. Like if they wouldn't have had that advanced hype, that would have been a real bummer for everyone involved.
Yeah. Because just that story surrounding it, I think that's what added some like in those cases, you spoiling stuff like that, and then making sure, like wondering if it's gonna happen. And when it does happen, in some cases, it actually works out and makes the hype even bigger. Like you hear a rumor that Impact Knockouts like women's champion is gonna be in the Royal Rumble. You heard ideas about it, but then when she declared, and then y'all got excited, and then y'all said, okay, well, what's the next thing? Oh, rumor is that she's gonna show up and she's gonna have the belt with her. No, she's not. And then y'all watch even more, and when you see her, she comes out even more hype. So sometimes it actually does work out. But yeah, we knew.
That forbidden door has been opened.
We'll see.
Let's see if they continue doing stuff like that.
Does anybody know what's up with those weird graphics in WWE? Those things that are in the air, are those for real? Do you see those?
Those are no, that's AR.
That's all AR.
Yeah,
it's really cheesy.
Oof. So much like so for instance, I'll give you an example. Like I went to I forget what number it was, but I went to New Orleans when Cena fought Undertaker and Daniel Bryan came out of retirement. Actually the debut of Ronda too. So I was there for that, and I remember seeing Undertaker come out, and when he does his little entry with the lightning comes down, right? So on TV we hear the thunder crash and everything, but man, live you hear that traditional that's kind of how it is, the same thing.
And the projections on the ring, on the apron, that's all fake too.
So it's more entertainment for the people at home.
Yeah, the last event I went to was the Royal Rumble where Ronda came out. When she came out at the very end, that was just man, that was cool. And that's when my baby Naomi did the whole little walk on the thing.
Oh yeah, that was nice,
bro. I ran up there. I was standing behind.
That was nice. That was nice.
Yeah,
I didn't like what they did with her. I didn't like that. With the whole
Is she the blue hair girl?
No.
Green. That's Sasha, I think.
Yeah.
Sasha was all right.
Yo, the boss
was the one that eliminated Melina real quick.
Yeah.
she was rocking. The boss was going in.
What was she dressed as? Sailor Moon, I believe.
And her little barrettes was flying all over the place.
But yeah, I enjoy. There were some parts that I did enjoy. But yeah, as far as the spoiler thing, yeah, I think some of us it's okay. It just depends. For me, it didn't take away from much at all.
Okay.
I was saying as a whole, I thought it was trash as a whole.
Okay.
Yes, there were certain things that that did pop out to me and all that other stuff. Like it did kind of have me like, oh snap.
Yeah.
When Mickie James came out with that belt from TNA, that had me like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. And for them to acknowledge her as the TNA women's knockout champion, that had me like, oh snap, they actually acknowledged it.
Yeah.
That's what had me like, yo, Dean is coming. Dean is coming.
Yo, you still holding out? He's not coming back,
because listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. One of the greatest factions in my lifetime was the NWO. Before they went ahead and started to have everybody in WCW join the NWO, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? So when the Shield first came out and they just started bashing everybody, like when they would just come out and when they put the Undertaker through a table, that had me like, whoa, these dudes are serious. They actually put the Undertaker through a table. I can't believe it. But to not continue that when Dean left and went to AEW, that hurt my heart, man. That hurt my heart. Even when Seth turned on the Shield and started hanging with Triple H all the time.
And B, baby.
That hurt my heart. You know what I'm saying? Even
man,
though
when you said that your overall view of it was that it was trash, I can't help but feel like some of that has to be clouded by Wednesday's show, man. Wednesday's show for AEW was
with him going off?
Yeah.
Hold on,
I mean, Wednesday's AEW, the ladder match. Come on.
Listen,
I
just said, here's my question for you guys.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you that, and I'm glad that you said that. Do you think I like WWE so much because I only watch WWE? Is it because I'm just in my own little bubble and I just don't watch anything else?
Personally, I think that right now it could be, but I also am a believer that people can change, people can adjust. It's all about when you're ready for it. Like for instance, an example, and this happens with games, and even the most recent thing I would say, like a game like Final Fantasy 14, which I just started playing. I had the game for a year and a half, never touched it. I knew I was going to come back to it, but every time I tried to play it, it just wasn't clicking. It just wasn't. I didn't. I tried and I tried. It just wasn't ready. Fast forward to last month, I dove in and I love it. And I believe that right now what happens is sometimes the content that we consume, sometimes we're not ready for. Things just don't line up. We have other things going on. So sometimes we just ain't ready for it until you give another chance later. So maybe a month from now, maybe a week from now, you'll decide one day, man, let me go ahead and put this goddamn AEW on, man.
No, what I'm asking you is the reverse. Do you think I enjoy WWE so much because that's all I watch? That's what
I think that
maybe okay, well maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something to the fact that once you're under its spell,
and he's not. That's for real. Yeah, I agree.
You know, because I think if I wasn't currently under AEW's spell quite so heavily, maybe as an outsider, I'd just look at it a little bit more casually. But once you're under its spell, you can definitely, your opinion gets clouded, and your enjoyment of it gets clouded.
Right. He was like, oh, that whole Mickey James thing, whatever company you from. I was just like, oh, here we go.
He acting like he ain't never watched TNA before.
Bro. Listen, I didn't. So I literally said, "Is that TNA?" I'm not even sure. I know TNA 800 times, but
yeah.
I wasn't a super fan of TNA, but I remember watching AJ Styles when he was the first X Division champion. That was
they had some fire back then,
and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
they absolutely had fire back
How about that horrible TNA video game?
Ooh, that was bad. That was bad.
That's almost as bad as the Wu-Tang video game.
Yeah.
And I'm a Wu-Tang.
Oh man,
it was super
I
violent.
stay Wu-Tang all day.
WWE 2K looks amazing.
Yeah,
oh, 22? Oh man,
amazing. And hopefully, if AEW game is like they say they want it to be, from the makers of No Mercy, Hoults, AKI, that man. Well, I mean, in my memory, bringing J Rock back in here, in my memory, it's the greatest wrestling game of all time. But I wonder if I played it today, would I be like, God damn, this is but I don't know, because I thought.
But you want to talk about Google Stadia having no? You want to talk about Stadia having no communication though, Cowboy, man? That Jukes game.
Jukes was like, nope.
Right, cut him, Ricky, cut him down.
Let me get my boy Justin, and he's back. Justin, your take on the Royal Rumble?
Personally, I thought it was okay. Like I said, I watch wrestling for the melodrama. I'm not. I mean, I want the matches to be good, but I definitely watch wrestling for the melodrama. So I thought it was dope. The only thing I wish the Bobby Brock match was more than what it was. I definitely wanted it to be more than what it was. But I was satisfied with it. I was definitely satisfied with the outcome. But yeah, because I remember when both Bobby and Brock came around at the same time, and I wanted that to be the clash of the ages. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Like, I wanted that to be that epic match that it should have been. And I was hoping that what it was going to be on Saturday, but it definitely was not.
Yeah.
It's like it started out like it was going to be.
Yeah.
And then it quickly deteriorated into Suplex City. I was like, oh, here we go.
I thought they had a good little back and forth. But
yeah, no, at first they did. But then it, like I said, that quickly devolved.
It was
like
cool
I
to
said,
see.
I knew they was gonna get blown up.
It was cool to see Bobby Lashley just get up from a couple of those.
Yeah.
That had me like, whoa, wait a minute, you know, because even John Cena done got hurt by those things. The Rock done got hurt by those things. Like everybody done got hurt by the suplexes, and to see Bobby Lashley just get up, it was like,
Bobby
uh-oh.
was like, where? Hold my beer.
Right.
Hey, do you play wrestling games?
You said me or Dave?
Yeah, you.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and hashtag, you do play wrestling games? This guy. All right, so I'm gonna ask you guys the same question I was asked. So Crow asked me. He said, Cowboy, if WWE 2K 2022 doesn't come to Stadia, are you going to buy it on PlayStation? Why'd you say PlayStation? Why not Xbox? But now you know PlayStation is my you know, I'm looking for PlayStation, man. I want to see them bring me home. I want to see them bring me up Project Spartacus. Come on, fix your cloud infrastructure. Well, we're gonna get into that, but because we're gonna jump into that next. But I'm probably not gonna buy it, and here's my reason. I am a big wrestling fan, but I was never the guy to really play so much of the story mode, GM mode, and all that. Dave could tell you, bro. We'll come to my house and play all day, passing the sticks around. So I'm more. I want to play with people. So I plan on getting it with Stadia because, and Justin knows too. Dave knows. I used to literally host a wrestling league. We did drafts.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring that to Stadia community. I wanted to host and literally keep track of like who's the champ and talk trash. And I pretty much wanted to dump everybody in the head because I don't think nobody could beat me. So me personally, if it doesn't come to Stadia, then I don't get all that. So I probably won't buy it. I'll probably gamefly it so I can at least play it. But my brother's gonna get it, and we'll meet up probably once a week to play it, and not in the virtual.
But what if it's crossplay? Then you get all that, right?
Well, no. But the thing is, if it doesn't come to Stadia, then I mean. So meaning not if it was so crossplay if it came to Stadia.
So if it didn't come to Stadia, obviously you only play me PlayStation, Xbox.
Yeah. Well, no. So here's the thing. I played over 12 hours of Resident Evil this weekend. Me and Sandy beat Resident Evil from start to finish between Saturday and Sunday. So I've been playing my PlayStation because I got GameFly. So like, yes, my preferred way to play is Stadia. I was barely using my GameFly, but I'm starting to. I stopped playing PlayStation altogether, and I was using my GameFly for movies, right? So I'm still using it. At one point, I canceled it, and then we went and seen the Resident Evil movie, and it gave me that urge, like, yo, I never played Resident Evil 2 remake, so I re-upped my GameFly, and then I got the Resident Evil game. So we finally just beat it.
It's a good game, ain't it?
It is a good game, but I will say this: I'm such a fan of Resident Evil, which is my favorite game and franchise. Is that it's so different from part one that it annoyed me a little bit that I felt like, man, now it did. So we beat Claire's version first. And I was like, all right, let me back a little bit. We went to the movies. All right, I guess we're done with wrestling. All right, we're going to get to some gaming. So we went to the movies and seen the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. And I was like, yo, it was pretty good, but what the hell? They added all this stuff. Then it inspired me to play the game finally after all these years. I started playing the game like, oh, this was from the new game, the orphanage and all that. That wasn't in the original game. So, yes, it was good, but I feel like they did deviate so much that it almost could have been his old game. But I will say this, one thing was missing. And then when I played Leon's, because after we beat Claire's like a week ago, we took a break and played Leon's, and then we got to the sewer, and I was like, yes! Because I thought they robbed me and got rid of the alligator in the sewer. If you're a fan of part 2, you need your alligator in the sewer, man. But they did add it in his version, so which was cool. But his game's beautiful. Mechanics obviously plays better than back in the day. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And Hoults is back because he heard video games. So
quite studious too.
Jay?
I was actually floating around just listening to you.
Remake of Resident Evil 3.
Oh wait, hold real quick. What'd you say, Jay?
Didn't they do the remake of Resident Evil 3?
Yeah, that's on my list. We're gonna GameFly It Takes Two next because that won Game of the Year, and a bunch of people told me before one Game of the Year that, oh, if you like A Way Out, which my wife and I did beat together, it's like you got to play this together. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna GameFly Resident Evil 3 remake, which I heard is super short, so we should be able to beat that pretty quick. But now, guys, we're gonna transition into some gaming. What could tie us all together, and we could branch from there. Let's go over the news today, since Hoults just came back. Well, he's been here the whole time. Hoults, you want to bring up the news of today, man?
Which with the PlayStation acquisition?
Yeah.
It seems interesting that they went that way to sort of buy it, and a lot of people thinking that they're reacting to Microsoft, but what they're doing is they admitted that they've been doing it for 6 months. So they, just to say it up, they've been trying to get Bungie for 6 months. Okay. And the news is that even though that it's going to be a PlayStation studio, they're still going to focus on multi-platform multiplayer. So, but a lot of people...
Tell everybody what it is, so the people who's watching, they have no clue what you're talking about. What happened to it?
Well, what happened was all these studios have been getting snapped up to sort of help people's library of hardware or cloud. And a lot of people have been thinking, oh, Microsoft's being cheeky, or so was Tencent by developing these library of games. So people were worried that PlayStation was falling behind because they don't have a library, because they've lost like Bethesda, they've lost Activision Blizzard and stuff like that. So they decided to push for Bungie to sort of pad out the library, which is the developer of Destiny 1 and 2 and past games like Halo and that. So there's been some sort of drama, and actually a lot of people actually are happy about it, and some people are not.
So, Dave, you're familiar with Destiny. We used to come over and I used to play it every now and then. What do you think about Sony purchasing Bungie, company that makes Destiny? And they previously made it.
That's a big deal. Like, that's a real big deal, because it just seems like Sony's looking at Microsoft and saying, oh, okay, so this is what you're doing? So we got one to top you, you know, and it just seems like Sony is keeping the competition alive by doing that.
Right.
You know, where it's just like Sony's not trying to play second place to nobody, you know, and that's basically what I get from it. Because again, you already know I don't play games that often, you know, like I'm not a big fan of the first person shooter games. I prefer to see the entire person, you know, but like Resident Evil is definitely one of my favorite games. You know, God of War is one of my favorite games. You know, Tomb Raider is my absolute favorite games. And, you know, but to see what Sony is doing is basically like, we're not going to play second place to nobody. You know, that's what I'm getting from it. And like, hold up, Microsoft, you forgot about us?
Mm.
You know.
But Dave, let me put this in perspective, though. Let's talk about money a little bit, everybody. So here's what's crazy, though. So when you think of, and I always say this, video games is a popularity contest. So not many people are looking at the money, because you could say, dude, Destiny's a big franchise. I mean, Justin's gonna a little bit. Destiny's a big franchise. It's MMO, so it's ongoing, right? Whereas a Call of Duty, you get like one a year, right? But let's look at some money real quick. So a year ago, Microsoft purchased Bethesda, right? For $7.5 billion, right? And that was double what Disney paid for Marvel. So to put that in retrospect for some people who's listening, right? So then, Microsoft decides we're going to buy Activision Blizzard, and they don't made game to combine games like, well, Call of Duty, which is one of the most popular games, period. Whether you think it sucks, nothing, everybody know the Call of Duty. I think they said it was like top selling game for like 13 years in a row, something ridiculously crazy. So even though Grand Theft Auto 5 is the best selling game of all time, if you added up all the Call of Duties, it will smash that, right? So just think, they purchased Activision Blizzard, right? And Blizzard what makes World of Warcraft, like, but for 60 what is it? $68.7 billion. 68.7. Now, the only other acquisition in entertainment that was higher than that was when Disney purchased Fox for $71 billion, right? So I'm just putting this into perspective, right? So when Sony today purchased I don't want to say Destiny, but Bungie for 3.6, that's still billions. But when you think of what Microsoft did, you're like, what the? But here's the thing, though. We got to see what they do with it. Think about it, Mayne. Because, dude, Justin, you know, growing up, Killer Instinct was official.
Yeah.
But guess what?
Right.
Conker's Bad Fur Day. You could name them, right? But guess what?
Rare was on point.
Microsoft bought Rare, and what did they do with it?
They
right?
shat on it.
Right. So you can't always think. I think the best thing to do is what Bungie said. They said we're still able to breathe. We're still able to be an individual, independent company, but we're owned by Sony. So that means they can still do what they want to do, but they got the financial backing. You know,
well,
that's
this is how I look at it. I look at it as Disney's acquisition of Marvel. You remember, I believe at the time we still lived together. And when the conversation came out, Iron Man 1 had just come out, Disney buys Marvel. We're all like, oh shit, what's going to happen with this whole Avengers initiative? Is Disney going to shit on it?
Right.
No. What did Disney do? Disney said, huh, and just threw money at it.
Right.
He's like, we're just going to throw mad money at it. Do your thing. We're not going to mess with your creativity. We're just going to throw money at it. The smartest thing Sony can do is throw money at Bungie. Because I think Bungie right now, we had this conversation earlier, Doug. Self-publishing is difficult. It's extremely difficult. It's not just to self-publish, but then produce the game, make sure you got the people on board and producing your vision, what you want for the people. And then on top of that, actually publish the game and put it out. That's a lot of work. This will alleviate a lot of that on Bungie because Sony can now handle the publishing and allow Bungie to handle the development. This also actually works in our favor, the consumer, because if Sony's throwing money at Bungie, we might see it a little bit less on the back end of like microtransactions and like the Eververse store and shit like that, where that necessarily doesn't have to be so overbearing. Like, what were they calling it? The spirit of like the season of the lost. They were calling it season of the cost. Like, they wanted you to buy all the emote shit. Like, maybe that won't be so bad anymore. That's what I'd like to see out of it personally.
Mayne, what about you? Throw your take in there.
I'm surprised this hasn't happened earlier, honestly. I can think back on the Gjallarhorn. I could think back on Jade Rabbit. I could think back on Strikes. I could think back on raids. I could think back on all this content that Sony, PlayStation, or Sony and Bungie they were able to put out first for people on PlayStation for years. So in my mind, this only made sense to further that relationship and to broker that relationship that was already working so well from before. It just made sense. They left Microsoft for whatever reasons, right? And they did meet up with Activision Blizzard. That went sour also. They left. And so it made sense to say, okay, well, instead of going to Activision Blizzard and we're not going back to Microsoft, you know, we've been working with these guys this whole time. Like it makes sense. And so I think that like I said, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. And the agreement that they had is very generous on Sony's part, but also it shows that they're starting to understand, have the foresight for what multi-plat can be. Before they were very closed in, and like we talked about it last time, very walled garden. You can only play our stuff here and blah blah blah. Now they're starting to understand the significance of being able to get their product to as many people as possible. And this is that merger or that business relationship. And I think that we're gonna see some really good stuff. Yeah, we're gonna probably get some solid stuff from Destiny and everything like that. But then with that also gives them the freedom to do is to decide, hey, okay, well, while we're doing that, we're making this game on the side. The team is working on this game exclusively for PlayStation.
Yeah,
so it'll work.
So here's the cool thing. It's been known that Bungie has been working on another game, which is cool. So maybe that game could be a PlayStation exclusive. So here's the thing. My conspiracy theory, Hoults said this been supposedly going on for 6 months. Now, because I'm a cloud gamer and, we get into our little debates and whatever, I was privy to the knowledge that you could play you could play Destiny everywhere because it's free to play. But it was coming off a Game Pass December 8th. I was like, whoa, Game Pass get everything. Why is it coming off a Game Pass? So here's what I think. Game Pass is also tied to, I'm going down a little rabbit hole, so just hear me out, guys. Game Pass is also tied to xCloud, right? So I'm wondering, is when people say, well, Microsoft said, well, Sony isn't our competition. But make no mistake, Sony's competition is Microsoft, whether they want to look at them that way or not, right? So the thing is, if you were going to buy them, I think what they might want to say is like, you know what? You won't be able to play Destiny in the cloud on Xbox at all. But you will be, maybe they'll keep the relationship with Stadia and all the other places, but why would they take it off of Game Pass when it's a free-to-play game? That makes no sense at all, unless you were going to render them unable to use it on xCloud. Just saying. Hoults, you're into all this stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, but I feel like that if they have took it away from xCloud, I wish they took away from Stadia as well, because I wanted to believe that it would strengthen their PlayStation Now library. So I feel...
Now I got you. You ready? So Project Spartacus, imagine it comes around. I don't think it's going to be the Game Pass killer or be identical, but bet you believe that Project Spartacus will probably have Destiny included and all of its DLCs. Now, Doc Dark made a video earlier. He was like, well, Stadia needs to do this. What's the point of them still? Bungie might, Destiny might go away and it's free on this anyway. No, remember, Destiny is free, but its DLC is not free. Mm-hmm. So while you could play the base game on Stadia for free like everybody else, besides Game Pass, don't tell anybody.
I've seen the messaging before when Stadia got the whole year Destiny 2 with expansion.
Right.
I think the gaming community didn't really care. They were like, oh, it's only Destiny 2, who cares? So if Sony bring another Destiny, I think they have to really change the game to get new people on board, because if not, people are going to say, I experienced Destiny 1 and 2 and I feel like I don't trust the franchise.
I'm not saying another Destiny, I'm saying all of Destiny's DLC. That's a big deal. The Witch Queen comes out on the 22nd, it's going to be $40. Justin, if you could get the Witch Queen like wrapped up in a Sony package, you're already paying for PlayStation Plus, so imagine if it was, I don't know, $9.99 or $14.99, and it included all Destiny content.
But like we've just seen with Stadia and like we've seen with xCloud, I don't think it'll push a service if they just came out and went, here's all the expansions for Destiny 2. I don't think it will help in Sony's favour.
I have to respectfully disagree, because like that's a lot of content.
Yeah.
Like it's a ridiculous amount of content. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm a jackass because I put a ridiculous amount of money into this game. Like I've paid full package for Witch Queen. I'm talking about the bonus.
Yeah, I've got Witch Queen as well.
So $40.
Looks like that.
Like I think I'll drop 70 on that bad boy. I'm just waiting for it to drop. Like I've already taken half a day off work for the 22nd. I'm not planning on getting my money's worth. But
the only reason why I'm saying that is because stuff like that happens on Game Pass, right? So look at Halo.
When you look at it, do you think that having Destiny 2 on Stadia helped it? Do you think Destiny 2 on Game Pass helped it? I don't think it did, personally.
Well, you're only saying that because it was free regardless, right? It was the same price everywhere else. So it didn't matter.
I understand what you're saying. Did it make people flock to the service?
Right. But Stadia has a bigger name. I mean, PlayStation has a bigger name, right? So I'm not just saying the cloud part of PlayStation because they need to get that together. I'm saying if you're a Destiny fan, regardless, okay? Cloud, not cloud, console, and you're like, oh, Sony has their Game Pass. Everybody know what Game Pass is about now, right? on Sony, it's included. Just like you could say,
Well,
go
if
ahead.
you have everyone flock to Sony because Destiny 2 with all expansions is coming, then it just proves that all the user base was literally on PlayStation, the majority of them. So Sony done well with buying the acquisition. But I don't think it's going to hurt the competitors one bit, because I
No,
think that,
remember,
I'd rather have Call of Duty than Destiny.
yeah, remember, I'm saying that they would still allow Destiny to be everything right now, nothing would change. But on PlayStation, just like on Game Pass, Halo, you don't have to spend the full price on Halo if you got Game Pass, right? It's included,
But
right?
even though it's going to go multi-platform,
Mhm.
there's still going to be exclusive. Because look what Sony done with Spider-Man in Avengers. They
Right.
kept that little nugget themselves. So I feel like the people who own it are going to have the exclusives. So they're
Well,
going to give Destiny
that's
2
true.
compared to...
And
Yeah.
the whole thing with Spider-Man goes so much deeper. Like that's a whole another conversation in and of itself, because now you're talking about rights between Sony and Marvel and Disney. And because Sony is keeping an iron grip on Spider-Man. They are doing everything in their power to never let that dude go.
They iron grip every damn thing they touch.
Yes, no, that's for real. And the fact that, like I said, it is a whole nother conversation. I'm not going to get too deep into it, because that's the Disney versus Sony, and how and Marvel's basically just caught up in the middle of that whole conversation. And Sony's like, oh well, you want to use Spider-Man, and Disney's like, yeah, we want to use Spider-Man, but we don't want to give you this much money to use Spider-Man. And Sony's like, no, we want this much money to get Spider-Man. And at the end of the day, Disney will be like, no. But because Disney is Disney, Sony will be like, okay.
Now, what about what we may see, right? With this acquisition, Paul said he wanted Bungie to make a Killzone game. Wow. Bungie taking over, but Guerrilla is still a thing, right? And they make Killzone.
Yeah, Guerrilla's absolutely still a thing.
Yeah.
Like they'd have to literally, I mean, but Guerrilla is, I believe, a Sony studio now.
Right. So
I mean, so there could be some cross-pollination. That'd be dope.
I would just love to see Sony bring back a bunch of stuff. Like Microsoft fans often say Sony don't have multiplayer, but I remember when multiplayer was a thing on PlayStation, from Killzone to Resistance. Like, you had your shooters. So I would love to see them revive some of those things. Let me ask y'all this though. Let's just and I hope you're about to say something, but after that, let's get into what would you want Project Spartacus to have for it to be viable for you to actually want to pay for it? And we probably all come from different angles. So, Host, were you going to say something else?
No, I was going to say, Sony did have the multiplayers. It just never had the infrastructure. When Xbox Live came out, it had like party chat, it had the best storefronts, it had the best place to play games with your friends. So I feel like it wasn't the games, it was the online experience that Sony
I
lacked.
100% agree.
I think everybody could unanimously agree with that. Whether you're on both, whether side you're on, you can objectively say that.
Like Holt said, they had the infrastructure. I mean, Microsoft being the computing company,
Right,
for decades, they've already had that built and set up, where Sony is just literally dipping their toes in the water
right.
of that world. So yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of you guys want to take this first? What would you need Project Spartacus to have in order for you to be a subscriber?
If you don't mind, only because I'm about to hop off.
Yep.
I can smell steak cooking in the background.
But
And me and Anthony have had this conversation. For me personally, honestly, like Holt said, infrastructure would have to be like on point.
Mm-hmm.
My whole thing is, and Anthony likes to call me a Stadia hater. I am not a Stadia hater. I am a internet infrastructure hater.
And real quick, Justin. So Project Spartacus isn't just cloud. Like Project Spartacus, meaning they would have a subscription server. You could not even be in the cloud. I mean, you know how you got PlayStation Plus and they come out with things? Yeah. So you could literally be a part of Project Spartacus and don't even use the cloud feature at all. So just remember that. That has nothing, like, that's just one avenue.
Right. But like for me personally, the infrastructure would have to be so ridiculously on point. Like we've had this conversation, the internet breaks down, I can't play Destiny. Well, if my game is entirely reliant on the internet. Even my single player games are entirely reliant on the internet, and I can't play my single player games because something goes wrong with the internet. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to feel some type of way. I want Stadia to thrive, live. I do see it as the future, but I see it as the way things are currently stamped out. Our current internet infrastructure, however you want to phrase it, isn't ready for it. When the time comes when I can literally walk into the house and my phone is like, "Hey, welcome home," and we're getting there. We are definitely getting there. You can walk into home.
I do feel like there's better internet places.
Like, hello, sir. Like you want, like we are definitely getting there, but we're not quite there yet.
You know what's funny, Justin? You say that, but Mayne, me, Hoults, hashtag, we're all cloud gamers. We're like,
I know.
I've been playing cloud gaming for 2 years. I'm like, oh, that's strange because I wonder how I'm doing it.
The whole point is with my house has been automated for like literally loads of years. Lights, doorbells, curtains, cloud gaming the last decades, streaming content, music, TV. So I feel like here where I live, especially like Western Europe, is actually the internet is ready and has been for ages.
Well, you know, this is America. It's all about that almighty dollar. So anything they can do to hold us down. Like we literally called Comcast yesterday to yell at them, talk about we paying too much money, make that shit lower. So I feel you. We need to step our game up here in the States regarding internet and infrastructure and all types of shit.
Yeah, but Jay, what about Project Spartacus itself? Forget that part. What I'm saying
for me, like, so when you showed me that mock-up,
right?
Like I said, for me, tier 2 should be like the ground floor. It should be tier 1. Because I feel like that's what I'm already paying for. Like when I bought my PS5, I had access to PlayStation Plus collection. That's how it's funny because I've never bought God of War. I got it when I got my PS5, part of that PlayStation Plus collection. The game's phenomenal. I beat it twice. It's fire. So like that with that mock-up, that should definitely be, as far as tier 2, that should be tier 1. To be completely honest, as I would need backwards compatibility, but that's I would need. This is what I would need, because I've been on the digital, as far as digital games are concerned, I've been on that since PlayStation 3. I would need full access to my library as far back as PS2. If I bought a game through the PlayStation Network, period, point blank, I would need access to it. Not this, oh, now you have access to all these games, and I don't want to buy Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the 112th time.
That's real, though.
I'm not going to lie. I would have. Because I bought it on Google. I bought it, God knows how many times I bought it on PlayStation. I bought it on Google. I literally have it running on my Chromebook, and it runs phenomenal. I will play that game on anything and everything they put it on. Because it's probably, if it's not number 1, it's number 2 of my all-time favorite games.
Wow.
But I need to have access to it. Like, period. So, like, for instance, so many games that came out in the PS3 that were straight digital, only digital. I need to have access to them. That's what I would need for me. Give me my full PlayStation Network library that I've purchased digitally and give me access to it. That's what I would need.
Would you want, so a talking point is because Microsoft do their exclusive games day and date, would you want that? Is that a make or break for you in a subscription service from Sony?
For me, yeah, it's a make or break. It's totally a make or break. Like if I had, because right now I own a digital PS5, I own a digital edition. So I still own my PS3. I still have physical games for it. So that's all well and good, but I wouldn't want access to any purchase I've ever made. I think that's only fair, because you're asking a lot of people to spend the same or more money again for a game you've purchased already. God knows how many times. Like, how many times do you expect me to buy the same game?
Yeah, all you gotta do is be a Capcom fan for that.
Facts. Oh my God! Don't get me into the Street Fighter conversation. Jesus.
All right, that's pretty cool, man. If you got to run, it's all good, Jay.
I do not run. Dub, I want to thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I
man.
love what you're doing here. If you don't mind, please put up that link to my TikTok again.
Yeah.
You find me at DJ Justin Love 1 on TikTok. Follow me. I'm trying to get to 1,000 so I can stream live. And I get to that point, I'll be more than happy to mix on your show, live on your show. I'll be more than happy to mix right here on your show.
Well, I'm gonna be sharing it like crazy on Twitter and all the different spaces I'm in. So expect to have a bunch of people following me. But guys,
Yeah,
here it is right here.
We will talk anime. I got the live chat up too. I see y'all talking. But yeah, and holla at me. Just holla at me. I'm down to talk to anybody.
Definitely. All right, Jay.
Take care, man. It was a pleasure to talk to you, man.
Absolute pleasure.
Congratulations again.
Y'all. Definitely. I'll be back.
All right.
Later.
Y'all take care.
Later, man.
Take care, man.
Peace.
So host, this is interesting. What I want to know is what would Sony have to do for you to subscribe?
Well, all I don't really care about PlayStation Plus. I don't care about the free games. I don't care about the online infrastructure. So what they would have to bring is PlayStation 5 games day and date. Or they bring me a tier that is just a cloud tier where I can play my games that I've already purchased for the cloud. So at the moment it looks like they're not going to do that, so I am not going to jump on board.
So no bottom tier Hoults?
No bottom tier. I just don't think there's any value because what I actually consume on PlayStation. I think it's great for people who are going to jump in, but I think Microsoft has already spoiled us. They offer access all area for consoles. They offer PC tier. They offer Ultimate tier, which includes everything, games and cloud, day and dates. So I think that Sony had to compete with that narrative. If not, I'm out.
So day and date is a must?
Day and date is a must. I mean, because I am paying about $500 plus a year on PlayStation games. But I feel like with Microsoft bringing their day and date, it's bringing the costs down. So I feel like if PlayStation want to be consumer friendly towards me, then you can actually bring the exclusives day and date.
And what if they say 6 months later? Is that a deal breaker?
I like it coming up to 6 months. If it's only after 6 months, then I can actually buy them games in the bargain bin. Or there'll be like sales on Black Friday or Easter sales. They'll drop really quite quick. So I have to see how my money would go within that 6 months.
And how much you want that game. I'm one of the gamers where when a game come out, if I have interest in something, I have to get it. And I would feel weird if I bought a game, but I know it's coming 6 months later. So I'd be like, But the good thing about Sony is typically their critically acclaimed games are one-player games where, all you're worried about is as long as somebody don't ruin the story for you. So you could kind of hold out.
Yeah, and then also if they ever bring annual costs, if they can bring it like the annual pass saving to about a third, maybe that would convince me.
Okay, what about you, Mayne? I'm curious to hear this.
So for me, coming from spending a lot of time on PlayStation and Xbox as well, I spent the majority, I would say, of my time on Xbox. So I got a chance to see what the Xbox Live infrastructure is like. So for me, having that in mind, if they want to, let's say they want me to be a subscriber to Spartacus, right? What am I expecting? So like I mentioned before, I want them to be able to say, okay, they're like the PlayStation Plus games from before. You could download them. Here's the games. You have access to them. I don't want them to go away. Much like Gold, games with Gold. They say, listen, every month you have 2 or 3 games from Xbox One or Xbox 360 or whatever, and then you have 2 games from the older back catalog. They're yours. Right. Whether you subscribe, you lapse or whatever, they're yours. As long as you're subscribed, here's our gift to you. I think that if Sony were to go ahead and implement a feature kind of like that,
well, they have like, okay, Plus is the exact same thing.
Well, here's the thing, right? The minute you're not subscribed, you can't access them anymore.
Right.
And so with Microsoft, the minute I can cancel right now, but all those games that I've ever downloaded with gold, they're all mine. I can play
Yeah,
them.
somebody told me that. I was like, what? That's
yeah,
as far as
yeah.
business, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I would like for them to do something like that. Also, I think looking at the picture that you had, the graphic that you had of Spartacus, I don't have a problem with the way that tiers made. My thing is, I'm looking like right while you guys were talking, I was like, okay, tier 1, like
Okay.
how are they gonna price them, right? So everything that they offer here, I have no problems with. It looks good, right? I would take this. However,
And
my problem is the price.
Just so everybody's watching, this isn't a guarantee. This is a mock
Right.
someone made. This is a potential leak. So.
Correct. So, I mean, that my next thing is, okay, how much is Sony going to charge people for this? Now, I understand that, you know, Sony for years is a premium brand. That's their thing. Everything from their Vitas, everything is built. It's premium. It looks a certain kind of way, and that's what you're paying for in addition to their software. It's their hardware. So, understanding that, my question is, what has Sony learned as far as what they're offering people? Like I said, this is solid. What I see is solid here. But what are they going to start charging people? Like, to me, in addition to what I just mentioned about the games with gold situation, the price point has to be competitive enough to get people to say, you know what, for take the whole point that this is Sony, and we know Sony makes you pay for certain things.
Right.
Take that out of the equation. They're actually kind of undercutting a little bit of their stuff a little bit, and they're actually being a little reasonable with their pricing. Like, to me, that right there, if the tier 1 is like $7.99, and then you say tier 2 is like, let's say 12 or $14.99, and then say tier 3 is like $19.20, that would be okay. I would understand that, right? Seeing what you're getting. But I think those two are the things that really would get me to pay attention and say, okay, this is what we're going to give you, and this is how much it's going to cost.
Right.
I would be on board.
Now, let me ask you this. Here's something you didn't mention and Hoults didn't mention, but this is super important to me.
Okay.
Neither one of you guys mentioned their cloud.
I did. I said if it brought in a cloud tier, I'll be up for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I need the games that's whatever games come on this service, they got to be on their cloud, and they got to have a mobile app that you could use your mobile data. There is no PlayStation Now app for your phone. So
yeah, it's got to be all cloud for me, because my brother, he's just jumped into PlayStation 5 and he's just installed about 8 games, and he's in shock that he's used like 850 gigabyte, and he's like, I was expecting more, and I was like, no, that's the way it is in this gen. The games are huge, and that's why I was actually telling him that he should be playing these games on Stadia or GeForce Now to actually relieve some of that stress on the hard drive. So going forward, I would need Sony to bring these major games like Horizon, Forbidden West, Gran Turismo, and even Destiny 2. I'm sick and tired of loading that game up and just seeing installs and updates.
Oh yeah.
So I need all them games to be cloud on that hardware.
You know what? And I think to another point is that it's interesting because you can actually, for me, I'm currently primarily gaming on PC. So it's like, for me, they have a PlayStation Now app that you can run their games on the cloud on PC. Right. So that's an interesting point. So that's a very, very interesting point that you said. And so but mobile, you bring that to mobile to compete with that and to fill that market space or that market share of where all the cloud gaming is where it's going. I'm sure that Sony's aware of that, and I'm sure that they like Mr. Urban said, I'm 100% sure it'll be on the cloud, but they can't come out and say, but can't say it'll come to Android or not. So I'm sure it's going to happen, right? It's just that's a very, very interesting topic that I went, like you said, I actually didn't really pay attention to, but I was assuming, and that's my fault for assuming that they would actually have that, because PlayStation Now is a solid service, but I think that they just have to fine tune it and tweak it a little bit to make it more competitive to the other platforms. Because right now, compared to Stadia and some other ones, PlayStation Now, while they have a great library, I browsed through it like 2 days ago. They have a great library. It's the functionality and it's the availability that people need. And if they do that and they couple in that functionality with the app and some mobile and all these places like that, like it is on PC, oh, they off to a great start.
And also they would have to, the one thing they would have to market is the library is great if in terms of older games.
Correct.
They don't
That's true.
generally carry new games. So remember, PlayStation Now was only to substitute the PlayStation 4 not being backwards compatible.
True.
So his business model was to only allow you to play the games that didn't come over.
That's
so
true.
They just recently, within the last couple of year, kind of said, okay, let's add Uncharted, but it's years later, and it only stayed for 3 months. Same thing with God of War. Same thing with The Last of Us. So they need to. It's not a service that has new content. So for me, they would have to allow me to have new content in the cloud, and that's why I'm interested.
That's why I'm laughing at sort of these other hardware, because I'm looking at like Nintendo. They're bringing the Kingdom Hearts collection. They brought Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. They're bringing Dying Light 2. And I'm like, bloody hell, if Nintendo consider doing cloud, then you all should be well ahead of them.
Yeah.
Well, you know what though? I think that we talked about this before with Sony. Is that Sony is kind of like I draw parallels to Sony and WWE a lot. What I mean by that is they've been a big company in a big space for so long, right? That they've been so used to not looking at competition the way they do things. They've been doing things on their own, and now that the landscape is changing, now while they're learning. Because they're so big and they've been so big for so long, it's taken them a little bit longer to figure out the trends and figure out where to go. So that's why we're just now getting PlayStation games on PC. We're just now getting cross-play and cross-platform and all that stuff with PlayStation. They get it, but because they're so big and they've been around for so long, you don't tend to pay attention, whether people agree with it or not, to people who you consider below you. You're in the clouds, so you can only see the sun and the stars. You can't see the floor. That's the closest thing you can see is the clouds, and that's it. So I think they're playing catch up now, but they can do it once they get all cylinders rolling and they get this tier system going and they iron out some stuff. Oh, then people gonna pay attention.
Once they get the offer what everybody else is offered, then it makes sense, right?
Yep.
Microsoft is doing a great job at Game Pass just being called the best value in gaming, right? Yeah. That's what people say, right?
Yeah.
So yes, what I will give Sony credit is this acquisition from Activision Blizzard, we probably won't see anything for that for a while, right? What I'm gonna give Sony credit is when that Horizon come out, right? I'm pretty sure that's going to be 10s, 9s everywhere. And then the narrative will be, well, you don't have these type of games in Game Pass. So what Sony does great is make these one-player story-driven games, and that could hold them over until they figure Spartacus out. And I hear the rumor is, I guess Spartacus is supposed to come out by the summertime. So,
do you know, I haven't got years to wait for them. I remember playing PlayStation Now on my Sony Bravia, PS Vita, and my Bravia TV. So that was years ago, and it ran great. But now I can't wait years for Sony to play catch up.
Well, I think the great thing, like I said about Sony, you could say that all you want, and then they come out with something like God of War or Horizon. Chances are you're probably going to play it, you know?
But by that time, I've already pre-ordered Horizon Forbidden West. So to me, if they came out 5 years later and said, "Oh, now it's on clouds," I'd be yawning and go, "Okay, what's the next gen bringing?"
So my thing is, my conversation isn't cloud versus hardware. My conversation is PlayStation versus everybody else. That's what I'm trying to separate.
What I'm trying to say is that you just said Horizon. So where I was saying it's going to take a few years to come over, I've already finished and completed that by then.
Oh yeah,
so to me, it wouldn't be a wow factor to bring that title where Microsoft.
I brought up Horizon because we were saying how PlayStation isn't looking as great when it comes to Game Pass, right? So people are like, why get PlayStation when I get Game Pass? But when something like Horizon come out, then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm not getting.
That's why.
That's why.
Right.
That's what they do well, is when these games come out. It's just, okay, this year they got a couple of them, but they're spaced out kind of far. So Horizon got to come out and hit it hard, and you'd be like, oh, that's why I mess with Sony. And then Turismo come out, Oh, that's why. And
Yeah,
Right.
but no one's ever complained that PlayStation hasn't got the exclusives. It
Right.
just because I do believe they have. I'm looking forward to loads of exclusives this year, but them exclusives are not going to a service, so they're not going to Spartacus, so it won't help
Like
that
day
service.
one, like Game Pass, right? Like you were saying,
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. But what I was bringing that up because I was saying that we were saying Mayne was saying how right now, Sony needs to catch up because just like they don't have a app on for PS Now. So what reason why I brought this up because we were saying how Game Pass is leading as far as people it's the buzzword, but Sony's buzzword is when those exclusives come out. That's
It
all.
would be terrible to hear that Spartacus is just PlayStation Now, PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now limited should I say, and PlayStation Now, and it was just an app on your phone that didn't allow you to cloud. That'd be terrible because you've already got them services.
So let me jump in there and actually. So I'm gonna say what I would need, right? So personally, I don't really care about the old games. That's just me, right? And I know a lot of people say, "Hey, man, if they had all the older games, right?" I'm not so interested in the older games because I'm kind of again, I always say this, but interest is my favorite word. If I was interested in the game, I would have played and beat it. Just like Resident Evil. I didn't play it way back when, but it was always in the back of my head. I gotta play and beat every Resident Evil. Guess what? I found time, rented it, played it, beat it. Trust me, it's going back, and I'm never seeing that game ever again. So for me, if they bring out even my favorite game prototype, I played and I platinumed it. I may mess around with it, jump off a building with a person in my hand and throw them into a helicopter, but chances are I probably won't play it that much. Now, for me, they got to have the cloud on point, meaning it got a mobile app and it allows you to use mobile data, not just Wi-Fi, because if I go on vacation and the Wi-Fi sucks, I want to be able to use my mobile data. They gotta so one of the tiers say something like PlayStation Plus library. Imagine if every PlayStation Plus game was now available. That would be pretty cool. Even though a bunch of them is old as hell, so
I wouldn't care. I've been a PlayStation Plus user from day one, and I feel like it was all loads of crap because I already owned the games years before.
Yeah,
so I know it's great for someone that's going to jump in new to PlayStation, but for someone that was OG, I don't feel it's value towards me.
And Hope, this is why Game Pass looks amazing, right? Because generally a subscription service was always older content or cheaper content. That was generally what it was. So you get Game Pass that shaking things up by giving you day and date content. So but I just can't see Sony doing that. So for me, if they did 6 months, I'll be fine. Like I said, I'm not gonna miss out on like Horizon Zero Dawn. I have no interest in getting that, but I definitely want to play it at some point. Like the last game I played like years later. So if I knew it came to the pass, Mayne.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's funny? On my screen is frozen. It looked like you were
Really?
sleeping. Yeah.
No,
I was like, oh, I don't
it was
I don't
not
know.
my head. Yeah.
Yo, that's hilarious. Even right now, if you look at the live screen, you're frozen with your
What?
eyes closed.
Nuh-uh.
No, he's moving on my end.
Really? I'm even looking at the stream.
That's crazy.
Stream that's live right now.
Well, let's look.
Yeah, stream that's live right now. Mayne is sleep.
Oh my! I'm not asleep.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
No, that's not it.
Yeah, that was
I will say really quick, Vet Cloud actually. What's up, Vet Cloud? He said, question for the panel, thoughts on MLB the Show coming to Switch. That actually is a big deal because that's primarily been on Sony for years. So that's actually dope.
Why that's not a big deal is because it came to Game Pass.
Oh, it did.
Which was that?
It sure did. It sure did.
That was, we was like, what?
That happened. It was big.
Right.
You're right.
I mean, you already done prostituted yourself out the game.
Do you know, if Nintendo bring a cloud service ahead of anyone,
testing it.
They do have a cloud service. They got a couple
testing it.
No, I mean a full Nintendo online. They're not using other partners to bring it. Because I've got literally loads of titles I would love to play. I mean, I've got a 1 terabit, and it's actually nearly maxed out now. So I feel like the Switch better hurry up and bring out a Wi-Fi 5G model.
Damn. Oh, you know they will. The rumor is real quick. Speaking of Nintendo, the rumor is that Pokemon Legends of Arceus was supposed to be for the next successor, but when the chip shortage happened, they had to make some changes and dumb down some stuff in order to just release it on the current Switch. So it's possible.
That's what I was playing before when you were actually talking about wrestling. I sent a Cowboy the shirt.
Yeah, man. But that's what I think was gonna happen. But
did you see this? Wait, not this. This right here. Sony just announced MLB The Show 22 is coming to Game Pass day and date.
They just announced that?
Yeah, that 2022 is coming. Wow.
That's interesting that they would announce that though, specifically.
Yeah.
That's very specific.
I guess after you already seen 2021 on Game Pass, what's the shocker?
Okay, true, right. I guess the shocker is just the fact that they felt the need to do that themselves.
Cowboy, just quickly show the screen.
What you shared?
Yeah, I just shared.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, man.
So I was just sitting there listening to you while you were talking about wrestling, and I was like, "Go Pokemon!" Yeah. So when I was laughing at you, speaking about wrestling, nodding, I was like, "Edge, I remember him. I remember that wrestler," but I was like, "God, I can remember this Pokemon as well." I'm like, so then when you tuned in, you saw me with my glasses, and I was like, "Yeah, so Cloud Gaming, yeah."
Exactly. And I need to know. I need to know where you got all the other starters at, because I'm playing it too, and I couldn't find them.
No, this is
later.
25 years. You know, we have to sort of reset the game, trade it over, do it again. But suppose you can get the starter Pokemon post game. But to me, after 25 years, I just went, nah, I'm always going to start with all the starters. So I'm about 4 hours in. So it's like, you know, to know like Legends of Zelda, the colours.
Awesome game, man.
Nice.
So I've got your split screen. So I had my controller down. So when I couldn't speak properly, I was like.
By the way, that's probably one of the best controllers I've ever had in my hands. Mm-hmm. The Pro controller. So, they did a really good job with that controller. Really, really good job. Yeah.
A question from Mr. Urban. He said, "If Spartacus is PC and console only, are you going to give it a try or skip it completely?" Yeah, gotta have cloud.
Yeah.
For me, it gotta have cloud. You got to show me that you're invested. I'm heavily invested in the cloud, right? I showed and proved that I'm heavily invested. So if you want my attention to come back to Sony, you got to show me that you're invested in the cloud.
Right.
I need to see that, you know, because I never, ever, ever tried PlayStation Now. I literally never had a need, ever. Never. I know Mr. Irwin was like, dude, it's a free trial. Get it. We could play Tekken. I just never. For what? Number one, you offer only old games, right? Like, there's literally like nothing for me to get. If I wanted an older game, trust me, I played and beat it when it was relevant. If you're gonna give me older PlayStation 4 games, I was a PlayStation 4 guy. I played and beat them too. So like, what would be the reason for me to try PlayStation Now? Like now.
Why now?
See, I jump in PlayStation Now because like they bring in Final Fantasies, so I've played like 12 and 9, 8, 7, stuff like that. But to me, there's not really that much games that I would actually jump back in. I mean, I understand you've got Warner Brothers and you've got loads of like franchises that I really love, but I wouldn't play them again. So I wish I was that gamer that sort of came into PlayStation Now fresh. But to me, because I've been established in a PlayStation for years, I just don't see it as value. But I would actually say to people, like my nieces and nephews, they're 8, I would say for the price entry and for the games that you haven't played, it actually is amazing for them.
Oh yeah. You're just speaking specifically in your case,
right?
But yeah, so in my case with Microsoft, they will offer, you know, across multiple devices, 4K, Xbox S X optimization, and they'll offer me the best experience even in the cloud. But to me, with PlayStation, they're so behind that it's good for other people, but at the moment not for me, especially when I can say to people, I'm playing Stadia up to 4K 60, I'm playing GeForce Now,
right
4K blah 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 blah, I can play.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Vet said those playing on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 will pay full price. So he's talking about when MLB The Show 22 come out. So here's the thing.
Crazy.
I will say this. if I live on the West Coast, and okay, a perfect example. I live in New Jersey, and we got taxes. If my friend live in Delaware and they don't have taxes, that's just how it is. It is what it is, right? I'm not moving to Delaware just so I can not have taxes, right? It's not that big of a deal. So same thing. If I'm a Sony fan and Game Pass, you get it included for $14.99 a month, then good for you. But I'm not I don't have Game Pass. And you got to remember, stuff leave Game Pass as well. Yep. So let's say it become your favorite game and you paid $14.99. All right, hear me out. It's your favorite game. You paid $14.99. That's your main game you play, and you play some other stuff that come. And you paid for 7 months, and you're happy because it's your favorite game, and you get an option of little stuff. And then they take it away. You're kind of like, damn, I was just paying $14.99.
That was what I was saying about Dragon Quest 11. I remember thinking to myself, these games have got like over 100 hours if you want to grind. And I thought to myself, I was a bit worried that this game would be removed before I'll enjoy it. And then when they brought like the Yakuza collections and they brought like Doom and they brought too much, I was like, this is too much of a library for me to complete it in my time. So I knew that if I invested into that title, it would be removed before I even got halfway or nearly finished it. So I think you have to be very quick with these games that come to the library, or you have to understand when it's actually leaving, which I think they actually do notify you. But they do. To me, sometimes I wouldn't want to spend 6 months on a game, put like 100 hours just to get to the end, and it got removed. So I feel like that.
Yeah. And they don't notify you. And they don't notify you in the beginning. You know, they like, hey, leave service in like a couple weeks, right? So you know.
Another thing that to me I've noticed is that because I am currently subscribed to Game Pass also, is that they even tell you like you can play these games, but feel free, like they're discounted because you have Game Pass, they're discounted. Right? I've not once used that. I've not once said, okay, well, this game that I'm enjoying right now, I'm gonna go ahead. You know, I'm enjoying it so much, and I can't wait. I have to keep it. Right. I'm gonna pay $24.99 instead of $27. I've not once done that, and so I understand what you're coming from, Hoults. That's actually a really good point. Is that they put up all these games, and it's for the person who likes certain things, and they want you to have a wealth of games and content to match people's interests. But you have a good point, and I'm not even utilizing that discount. It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah,
or I have the game already.
When I was a lot younger, if they give me this service years ago, I'll be completing these games so fast. But because of life constraints, it's like you can barely get a few hours in, and you have to focus what you really want to play. So sometimes you might go, okay, this game came into the service. You sort of just like Netflix, you add it to your backlog, watch later, and then months later you come back and you just see that you just addled all these panels for nothing.
You get derailed. Like I beat Darksiders 1 and 2 on the PlayStation. Years later, I started playing it on Xbox Game Pass, right? And then I didn't play it. So then when years later I got Xbox Game Pass again, I was like, oh, you know what? I'll pick back up. And it was no longer on the service. So that does happen. Here, we got a question. And I also want to say what's up to my guy, Black Dragon. What's going on, man? And so Mr. said, what if it's cloud, but PC only? So here's my problem. I play Stadia primarily on my laptop I'm on right now. Now, my wife always played on the TV. Last night, her and I was playing Fast and Furious together on the TV. But hear me out. I go places every so often. 2 weeks ago, I was in the Poconos. I had my phone, my cool little controller. I was playing Stadia. Last night, it was last night. I beat the Fast and Furious game last night. I was laying in the bed. I didn't feel like sitting at the thing. Got my cool little controller, laying in the bed, and I beat the game, right? And I was like, oh, cool, I beat the game. If it's only PC, I like options, and that's what cloud gaming give you is options. Stadia says, hey, you can play here, you can play there, you can play there. Or you go to your friend's house and you left your controller. He probably got a controller and a laptop or a phone or your phone so I need options. So no,
I'm not trying to boot up a PC just to be on cloud. Nah.
Yeah.
I've always said this, the size of PCs and monitors are so like heavy power consumption that I need the smallest form factor and the most portability device. So me walking around with an iPad or a phone would be more friendly to my cloud experience because I'll be using my 5G data, or I can hook it up to my friend's TV with a HDMI cable, or I can cast it and stuff like that. So they're the options that I actually like than actually sitting at a PC.
Yeah. Maybe you see this?
I did. Okay, and that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah,
It's still available.
I
So
wonder.
yeah, show it's not going anywhere then. But yeah, to Holt's point, I played Stadia several times on my iPad, and that thing is it's nice.
Bro, I was in
It's
the
that
Poke,
option.
and where I live at, Pennsylvania, up in the Poconos is the mountains, and I was playing
Mhm.
Stadia. I'm just saying, and the thing, hear me out too, guys. I'm pretty sure all the cloud services are pretty good at this point. I'm no longer saying, well, Stadia is way better. I'm
Right.
pretty sure that because I played the last couple times I played xCloud, it was solid, and Forza was the best looking game I seen last year, and that was on Forza. That was on a cloud service,
Mhm.
So yeah, cloud. I feel like I know my buddy Justin. He always said like it bothered the cloud. He felt like it's not ready, but he's saying the internet infrastructure. Well, fine, but I look at it this way: I don't live where Mayne live at. I don't live where Hoults live at. I only live where I live at, and so
Mhm.
far for me, I've been able to play it for the most part. I'll say 95% of the time, I'm able to play Stadia pretty good, right? So for me, I don't live somewhere where it just don't work really bad. So I can't.
Well,
I get what he's saying.
my experience, I was actually doing game share on PlayStation 4, right? The game sharing feature, and it just never works. I just couldn't cast it to my devices, and I couldn't send it to my friend's house. And I was seeing all like these amazing experiences online, and then I realised my house had dead spots around the house. You know what I mean? The solid walls, 3-bedroom, the range. And then I realised the router that got supplied were like, it was, because they give you free routers here in the UK, the technology is outdated by far. So I went out there and I actually bought my own mesh network. I bought Google's own mesh network. And since then, I've got no blind spots. I'm getting full range of bandwidth across everywhere. I've got multiple devices running 4K streams. And that is why I keep on saying to people, it does work if you sort your house out. So when people sit there and go, I've got the best TV, I've got the best soundbar, I've got the best this, they have to start now factoring in their internet infrastructure in their house, because you can't cheap out on it, because if you do, it's going to affect everything, even you playing on your PlayStation 5 with Destiny Online, or your download speeds. I mean, I remember years ago downloading the game, and I used to put it in rest mode, and I used to go to bed, and over the 8 hours the game was like still downloading. Yeah, so I couldn't do that now. Wait 8 hours for the game to download.
Oh, hell no. Dude, so Holtz, I've been playing my PlayStation 4, right? Why does Sony have an update like every day? I'm like, dude, what? I just turned this on yesterday. Like, oh my God, man.
And when you go back, it really frustrates you, doesn't it? It really frustrates you. You go, huh? You were in sleep mode. You should have been automatically installing them. And then you realise there's messages, your hard drive's full. The internet went a blur, and there's always excuses, and you just feel like myself, this doesn't happen in cloud. Yeah. But then it's stuff that we took for granted. So I feel like stick with cloud, don't go back. And I feel when a lot of people get on board cloud, they're going to start seeing that they're not going to be happy with downloads, installs.
Absolutely, it's gonna take some time. People gonna come around. They'll realize it. They'll realize. Even though I downloaded a couple games today on my PC, and even then, right? It's direct connect and everything. So of course it speeds much faster. But even then, it's a thing, right? So I think more people will start to understand once they get their hands on it and understand what that may mean. Any updates, any patches, anything like that. You don't have to worry about that at all. It'll happen.
Dude, to be a gamer my whole life, and the last 2 years I've been primarily playing Stadia, right? And whenever I get a chance to go back, right? And like I said, I still keep my GameFly, right? And I'm not, no knock, man. Listen, I'm a gamer and I love games. If you show me a game that I gotta have, if I see a trailer or I got to play a demo and I'm like, I need this game. Trust me, listen, I don't have a problem buying a PlayStation 5. It just, there is not, I said this earlier, somebody was like, what? All the great games coming out? There's not one game coming for the PlayStation 5 that I have to have. And here's the thing, hear me out. It's not my fault they're going to allow me to play God of War on my PlayStation 4. That's on them. Because you're like, bro, you're going to miss God of War? Even if you GameFly, you can't play it. Yes, I can. I got a PlayStation 4. They said it would be on PlayStation 4. So,
It's true.
But I was nearly pulling my hair out the other day when I turned on my PC. I had a Windows update. I signed in, then I opened Steam, and I was just about to activate the Witch Queen expansion. So I activated it, and it downloaded Destiny 2 to my PC. And I was like, okay, why do my speeds look terrible? And I was sitting there, and I had to sort of diagnose why my speeds were terrible. And then I was checking all my internet, doing speed tests, checking other devices, and what it was the Steam download cache was too full, so I had to clear that out. But everything was an effort. Everything was an effort, and I thought to myself, do you know if I just picked up the Stadia controller and just went boop,
boom,
everything would have just been fine, and I just went. So even if you got it, there's a lot of maintenance you have to do with hardware.
Yes,
so
sir.
staying up to date with the installs, the hard drive spot, the caches, this. There's a lot of work that we never used to see back then until clouds came in and actually, give us a better ease of use.
Yeah, it made you think of it differently. I'll say this. My phone with playing Stadia, this is what I had to do last night. For some reason, if I'm already got my phone and I was playing and I was doing whatever, YouTube, whatever, and then I go to play Stadia, it would be fine. And then after so long, it seems like it's like, it freezes, but I'm still playing and they catch up. It seems like every so often I would have to just restart my phone. So like the Wi-Fi in my house, give it like a free cycle or something. I don't know how to explain it. But if I turn off my Wi-Fi and just play on my mobile data, then it's fine. Now, I do have Comcast, which my friend Justin was complaining, Comcast was complaining. So, but every now and then I would notice that. I would notice my wife plays on a TV, on the Chromecast Ultra with Google TV. Did I get it right? I think I got it right. So every now and then it would like slow down for her, but we have it just Wi-Fi. So I was like, maybe I should buy an adapter and then plug it, have it wired. But because every now and then she's playing and it does do that. So it's not flawless by any means, but it's damn near, man, in my case.
Oh, yeah. I think also certain games, too. I think it's also, when it comes down to cloud and Stadia, in my experience, that it also comes down to the way that the games are optimized also from the studios, right? So you have access to all those games. But to me, so far, the smoothest game I've played that I can recall is The Division 2. Like, the way that game runs to me, it's awesome. But again, if it doesn't run a certain way, it doesn't look a certain way, you're not going to blame Stadia. You bring that attention to the people who brought that game over to it. So your mileage may vary.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Black Dragon said the one thing I could say about PS4 versus PS5 games, game updates work in standby mode. That's the one thing I couldn't stand with PS4. I shouldn't have to boot the game to initiate the update. That is a good point. That used to drive me crazy as well.
True.
Let's see. Have you tried Samsung Dex? I have not.
So I actually had before I got my 13 Pro Max, I actually had the Z Fold 2, and I use Dex a lot on there, and it's actually quite solid to have your desktop turn your phone and port it to your computer or wherever and your TV and use it as a computer. That's actually pretty cool. So yeah.
Yeah. I use my phone for all my videos, just everything.
That's a beautiful man. Look, I know that I made my switch, but that don't mean that I ain't got love and respect for that phone. That phone is amazing.
I bought this like little stand for the iPad, and it had like 2 USBs, HDMI out, 3.5 audio jack and stuff like that, and it worked with my phone. That if I actually just plugged the HDMI to the TV and then plopped it on that device, any device that I plugged in worked like a PC. So I was walking around plugging my microphone in, my Bluetooth keyboard. So that's why I feel like you don't really need PC these days. You can just take whatever you want, little form factor devices, and just plug your device in and have it on the big screen.
So are you getting a Steam Deck?
No, I don't see any value in that at the moment. I've had some bad experience with Steam. The Steam controller, the sort of the Steam
Valve
Link,
Index?
what was it called? The sort of the little Steam PCs.
Yeah, the Alienware, like they had an Alienware.
Yeah,
PC.
I bought that, and I remember saying to my friend, "This is going to be the future," and then he proved me wrong and stuff like that. So I've had some bad sales with like sort of how I'm going to bring my PC experience to, portable. But now when I look at it, it's like even though I get the Steam Deck, I'm like, okay, looking at the screen and the features inside it, I was like, we've had the Switch for like literally 5 years, and now you're telling me to accept, even though the 720 will still look good on the device, you're telling me to go back. But for years, the PC Master Race has been telling us to go forward. So to me, the device has to evolve a little bit before I start jumping in.
I think that it has. I think that the catch is that it's allowing you to play your games that you've always wanted to play in a much more powerful form factor on the go, and I think that's what it is.
Mayne.
And that is why I can play on my iPad, and I can still have that cloud experience. So to me, it's for the people that believe in physical. Where me, I'm sort of like a cloud enthusiast. I've had great experience, so I feel like I don't have to buy these devices just to play my Steam library of games that are not compatible with GeForce now.
Gotcha.
And let me step in there, Mayne.
Go ahead.
My only issue with the Steam Deck, and I made a video. You guys should check it out.
I will.
Yes, you're right, man. You could play your games you always wanted to on the go. On the go where? Around your house?
No, you know what I mean.
Right. You walk out the door, you need Wi-Fi. So what if you playing a game? What if your favorite game online?
Okay, you sure? Absolutely.
You wanted to play it on the go.
Absolutely.
Then you walk out the range of that Wi-Fi.
I think for me, like Hoults, right? So Hoults has a certain view of certain things. For me, outside of the games that I play here, I'm more a single player guy. So like for me, the games that I install on my I have a playlist already. All the games I'm going to have on my Steam Deck are pretty much all going to be single player games, and that's that aspect I'm saying. So when I walk out of the house, I have them installed. I don't have to worry. I can play, what's it called, Death Stranding or whatever the game on the go like that. So that's what I mean.
But if you wanted to play Destiny on your Steam Deck,
that ain't happening. Ain't happening.
Now, Mr. Urban World, we're always going back and forth on my Discord, but he's like, dude, it's gonna be able to use hotspot. I'm like, bro, I watched the video. I just need them to say it. If they spell it out, but they have yet to say. They said it will not be able to use mobile data, is what they said on the video, on the IGN video where the guy was asking them all the questions.
If a lot of people can't trust their own home infrastructure, well, how are they going to trust a phone hotspot or a cafe's hotspot? It ain't going to happen, is it? So.
No, some people hotspot. My friend used to use his hotspot on his PlayStation when we used to.
I know, but I'm just saying the majority of gamers to have that like sort of stigma towards internet speeds in their area and stuff like that.
Yeah. And guys, if you missed earlier, my buddy was on DJ Justin Love. This is his link that I have up. Make sure you guys follow him. He's trying to reach 1,000 followers. He's close. He's at 7 something. Help him out so he could be able to DJ without restrictions via TikTok. So I appreciate it. If you guys are late to the show and missed that earlier.
But like I said, I'll rather take the approach that if like Wi-Fi 5G wasn't a problem, then I would rather focus playing on my iPad and sort of direct connect to my PS5 and Series X than I actually would connect into my Steam library, because I feel like GeForce Now is already ticking the box for a lot of games that I would like to play on the go. Okay, it hasn't got all the games that I want, but I think it's actually, giving me more incentive to focus on GeForce Now than actually go out and buy another device. Because to me, I'm apart from Nintendo, I'm like, the narrative was we should be playing on our phones and our portable devices now, not actually buy additional. So I don't want a PlayStation Vita 2, I don't want a Steam Deck, I don't want blah blah, I just want to play it on the device I've already own.
Yeah, well, being a cloud gamer for a while, it does make you want that. It makes you want everybody to get in the game. And believe it or not, everybody is getting in the game one way or another. It's just that, like I was talking to somebody earlier, and it was like, well, how come Stadia on this? Said, you got to realize, they project in 2027, cloud gaming is only going to be 3%. That's 5 years from now. So I don't think the rush to say, because my friend made a video, well, Stadia needs to buy a studio now. And I was like, I don't necessarily think they have to. Not right now. Cloud gaming just isn't that popular.
But what I find the funny is that when I was playing games, I remember a lot of people were saying with the PlayStation Vita, oh, it's a toy. The Wii U was a toy. The Switch is going to fail. It's a kid's toy. Who wants portability? Then out of nowhere, I think the narrative's shifting now that people do want to play their Steam library portable. And I'm like, yeah, but we already had that years ago. So, why should we all run out and buy a Steam Deck? I know to some people it might be enticing, but I don't think it's going to be a game changer I think Nintendo's already got that market. I think mobile gaming's already got that market. I think this is going to be just for a small few people, and it's going to die. Right. I don't want it, but I feel like if other devices in the past, like the PlayStation Vita, died, I think this is going to die.
We'll see. I think what may make it die is just limitations. Like maybe people, in theory, it sounds really good, and then people might get it and be like, "Oh, maybe it can't do this or can't do that." That's the only thing I think. I think it's a great idea, dude. If you wanted to go to your friend's house and not take your whole PC, that's gonna be awesome.
Because I was the same with, like we just mentioned, Alienware, the Steam machine. I was like, a modular PC shaped like a console? Wow, this is going to be the future, and I can just change out parts. And that died within like a year and a half. But to me, I thought that was the future, taking that device around with everywhere. But people were like, no, it isn't.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because me and him go on and on about this. I personally just feel like, listen, if they just put out an article, if they put out a video, then we could stop talking. But he did say, Cowboy, the Steam Deck is simply a PC. Every PC works with hotspot. The same rules applies for the Steam Deck. I just feel like the Steam Deck is a new device. On that video, they said it has no mobile data capability. It's in my video. I put it on there. So I get that hotspot is typical thing. Everything could do a hotspot. I'm just saying they didn't say it, and it's a brand new device. I don't know what drivers or whatever it has in there. Will it work well or not? So I don't like when people say it will. They didn't say it. You know.
Fair point.
So I mean,
the people I hired to get a Steam Deck, they're actually taking away the Steam OS, and they're going to install Windows, and they're going to have it to play their cloud gaming with having games that they store on their local hard drive, just in case they haven't got any connectivity to the internet. So to me, I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, you could have just done that on your phone anyway. And they're like, oh yeah, but I think it's something shiny for these Steam users, so I think that's why they're getting it. I mean, but I hope everyone has a great experience. I hope it actually does be something new, but I can't just see it.
Yeah, it got a lot of buzz, and if it does what it does, I mean, it should be able to be a portable PC, right? I don't see why it shouldn't work. It's just whether it's popular. But just because it's not popular, don't mean it doesn't work and it's a failed device.
But to me, I'll rather have Shadow, because what Shadow gave me was 1 gig down internet speeds. So I had a virtual PC in the cloud that had a great internet infrastructure, and all I needed was just the lowest bandwidth available just to have the mirrored image. So I feel I'd rather take that on multiple devices, like my phone, my tablet, my TVs and everything, than ever actually buy a dedicated device that was focused on Steam.
Oh, did you see my video about the Steam Deck?
Not really, no.
Everything you're saying was in my video.
No, but the whole point, it's so obvious, isn't it? Because like I said, we're cloud gamers anyway, so it's like, you already told us that we've got all this available to us, so why should we actually have an additional?
Because I was saying that my phone screen right now is bigger than a Nintendo Switch screen. If I put a controller to it, then it's pretty much, and if with Shadow is a PC. Like pretty much you can do exactly the same thing what you have now. Now, granted, this costs like $2,000.
And the master PC race, they like to boast about their hardware. So let's just bring the mobile. Let's just talk that device. You could say it's got a lovely crystal retina 4K display. It's got 1 terabit storage. It's got the latest Wi-Fi, and the PC gamers will go, so what's that got to do with anything? And it goes, yeah, but you're always telling us in a local space that matters. So why would I want to dial it back to a non-retina clear screen, a 720, something that feels, it might, I've never put one in my hand, but I'm assuming that it'll have some bend like the Switch. So you just feel like I can just add little clip-on controllers to my brand new $2,000 phone and have the best experience.
I think actually, for me, I would say that I personally disagree, and the reason why is because for me, I think the Steam Deck is so appealing to me in my situation because, for one, like I'm at my desk a lot. Like this is where my PC is, this is my workstation, so I'm here a lot. And primarily, I actually am a handheld gamer. So I've spent more time in that realm than any other platform.
Yeah.
And also you factor in that I have children and I can't always enjoy the things that I want to enjoy on the go. I have to go here, I have to go there. So being able to have either whether it's my phone or my Vita or things like that, it's very much to be able to play those games that I normally have to sit down and be static for. The prospect of saying, okay, listen, yes, it is a PC. Yes, you can do that here. But now what we're saying is you have a piece of hardware that you can play just like you would on handheld. And now you can finally play those games that you don't have to sit at a PC anymore to necessarily play.
One word that I'm going to laugh at when all these people that buy the Steam Deck is because we use it for consoles, we use it for cloud, we use it for the state Switch. So I feel wait until people start saying, oh, this game will run great on this device when it's optimized. And you don't really hear PC gamers talk about optimization because they just want raw power. So when you start going, oh, this game will be amazing when it's optimized on Steam. So I feel like it will be a great experience if Steam works with the developers by saying, here's our specs, here's how many millions of units we're going to sell. Can you start optimizing the game for this device?
There's somebody who put an article in my Discord the other day, and they actually said there's a lot of developers actually said that they don't like the Steam Deck, and and actually it makes sense. I never thought about this, but I actually got to do a sit down discussion with the developer of my most anticipated game for over a year now, Death Carnival, right? And it's coming to PlayStation or it's coming to Stadia and all over, right? And what he said was, one of the challenges is, and I never thought of this, right? I think like, oh, you make one version of the game, that's good, right?
Right.
That one of the challenges with Stadia is that you can have it on a device this big.
Yeah.
Oh, let me hold it like this. You can have it on a device this big, right? You can have it on a device that my 15.6 inch screen. You have a device in that big, right? A 70-inch 4K TV in my living room. So what changes that they would have to work on? You think it sounds like nothing. You make the game once. He said the fonts, like in writing. I was like, oh, I didn't know this thing. It was like when it goes from one thing to the next, someone has to code that to be that size.
That makes sense.
And I was like, oh, I didn't think about that. So that's just one aspect of developing on something that's smaller. And so you figure if you made, hold on real quick, Hoults, if you made a version that you could play on something and then you have to make it, I don't know. That's just, the whole Stadia thing that he mentioned to me. But
well, I hope that Steam is actually and Valve is actually working with developers, because I remember back in the Switch days, Switch was going to have less memory and they weren't going to go with the Tegra X1 chip. And the developers said, listen here, if you want our games to come over, you better have this chip at least. So now that was 5 years ago. So I hope that it's actually got latest hardware now, where developers can feel that if the device comes out this year, for a lot of people, I know it's like next month and a few months after, but this hardware will be available for the next 5 years. So I hope developers have got trust in it before launch.
I think it's going to do well, though. But look what Mr. Ermero said. Let's not forget this. I had it on the screen for a while. Like I said, if I'm wrong about the hotspot, I'll go live on YouTube and run outside naked. My word.
No one wants to see that. We were like, oh, we'll take your word for it, Mr. Dave.
We're good.
Oh, my God.
Guys, I'm a wrestling fan. Wrestling been on for almost a half an hour now. 18 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It's all good. So I think we covered so much. It was cool. Thank you guys for joining on. I want to switch it up and cover one thing, then another thing, and another thing, instead of having a whole show for one thing. I hope that was enjoyable for you guys and the viewers. And I thank you guys for being a part of it. Mayne, I told you personally, and same thing for Hoults a lot of times. You guys add value to my show. It could just be me sitting here talking, but you guys have opinions and views that I think a lot of people love to hear. So I just want to thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for having me as always, man. I appreciate it, and I'll be here.
Well, I'm happy to hear that Mayne's not just a Final Fantasy or Scarlet Nexus. He's a sort of a Pokemon fan as well. So now I'm gonna get my Pokemon cap on. I'm gonna pin me badge and be like, Mayne, let's have a battle, mate. I'm gonna send it over me Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna come on, man.
I've got a lot of interest, man, game wise, man. I'm all over the place, man. I love them all. I'm Mayne Games for a reason.
Mr. Ermore said Jeff and everyone is playing Wreckfest. Will we be joining? The cool thing is I'll be sitting in the bed with my controller and I'll jump on and play some Wreckfest with them. I know he does his Wreckfest, or he does some Monday stuff.
Mr. Urban says, I think Mayne finally realized how insane I am. You know what I laughed at actually, Mr. Urban World, and I want you to look at my face when I say this. It's not the fact that I realized how insane you are. It's that I've realized how much alike we are, how much we have in common. So no, sir. I feel welcome. I enjoy your company. Thank you for being a friend.
Oh man. Black Dragon, we're about to get out of here now, man. He said I need to jump in to the link.
So I hope the Steam Deck is a big success because with the hotspot, because I don't want literally loads of Americans to be arrested running around naked going, oh no, it's all over. and there's Cowboy has to match it up now. He's like running around with just his cowboy hat. WWE's not on Stadia. Oh no,
he's not on Stadia. Now I'm running the street naked with my cowboy hat on,
with his robe, talking about, oh man.
Yeah, oh man. Look, there's a good oh man. I'm always like, right. Oh man, or I'm like, this oh man. Oh man. So I want to say this, which is cool, man. I went to hit click on the outro. I'm like, oh, that's right. On this, you could set it as outro. So all I have to do is end screen, and then it plays the outro. That is cool. That is cool. I'm sure.
I set up my because I was going to do the Pokemon on Twitch, because I had the free starters and stuff like that. I got the sort of avatar, so I actually got like an overlay with like a Pokeball that was like 30 seconds in and out. But I set it on my Streamlabs, so every time I open my melon, it also does an intro and outro of Pokemon. I was like, no, I'm supposed to have a certain messaging for when I actually go on certain things. So I have to learn how to change the profiles so it doesn't always set it to one. But I remember watching your last stream that I joined, and I seen like a little like planet or whatever, and it was been amusing. I was like, God, where's Bruce released the baby guard dragon? And then it kicked in afterwards, and I was like, oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I thought you replaced it for the 30-second jingle. I was like
the whole. Well, I've been using the 5-minute thing, so I'll go live a little bit before the time and just let it say 5 minutes, and then I just start it whenever. So this got some cool stuff, man. I gotta give Melon some.
I'm not being funny, but if I put a timer on myself, I'll start panicking. I'll be start knocking stuff over. I'll be like that. So when I go live, like, I'm not ready still. So I feel like I just click the button and just go straight on.
The thing is that it's 5 minutes. So I used to do it. Remember, StreamYard only had the 30 seconds. 5 minutes is such a big window of time. Yeah. Like usually I'm pretty much ready, but just to have it count down to 5 minutes. But I like today, it counted. They got to like 2 something, and I went live anyway. But that's cool. Just to have people waiting around. Oh, the show is starting. Because I used to go late sometimes, right? Because I wanted to have everything ready. But I could just click the 5 minute mark like 2 minutes early, and know it's going to give me a cushion. That's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, really cool. And then one of the things too was when I used to end the show, because I'll play my outro, and when the outro was over, I had to hit it and end, right? Now this, I just hit end, and it plays, and when it ends, it stops. I don't have to every times where I had to get up, I'm like, I can't go nowhere because I got to manually end the stream.
Yeah, I was laughing at myself last stream because you were like, bye, Hoults, bye, and I thought you were going to kick me out. So I just went like that, like to get my phone and plod along at my desk, and then I looked back and I went, oh, and then you put yourself on large screen. I was like, okay, I will close myself out. Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to give my last final thoughts, but you were still there. And I was like, don't worry, there's 2 ways to skin a cat.
It's whether you sure you want me back at Cowboy? Did you say anything?
But like Dragon said, okay, here's my Royal Rumble score. I'm being very generous, a 3.5 out of 10. Don't worry, if you go back, a lot of people ripped it up, so it's all good. And Black Dragon and we all met together same time. Me, him, and Justin, DJ Justin Love.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
High school. The 3 of us all met.
Wow.
We ended up sitting at the same lunch table, and I heard those guys talk. They knew each other for a while, and I heard them talking about video games and comic books, and I was like, "What's up?" And me, I love everybody. I talk to everybody, so I was like, "Oh, what's up? Yeah, you play that?" And we became friends.
I've got a college friend that I've known for like 19 years. And a lot of people go, how are you still? I mean, I've got like over gamer friend that's like 32 years, and it's only because of gaming that we've been like really close friends. And people go, how do you know him? And I was like, well, when I started college, a lot of girls and guys walked past me, and I had the PlayStation magazine, and he looked at me like, that geek, oh, look at that nerd. And then my friend at the time, he just sat next to me and went, I played Final Fantasy X, beat all the Dark Aeons, and I was like, yes! And he was like, do you like Halo? I was like, yes! And he was like, do you like wrestling? I was like, yes! And that's how we became friends. And when I explained to people, it's like, was you really that excited? I was like, yeah. Someone to sit down and actually speak about them topics. And now I fast forward and we're still talking about them topics today. So
that's cool, man. That's rare too. Very rare.
Said know me since he was 15.
Oh, that's very rare.
Yeah, man.
Awesome, yeah.
Also, guys, if you check out the video when we walked to the beach, he was in it when we had the shirt saying, I'm not gay, but $20 is $20. Hilarious, bro. We all 6 guys out of 7 guys or 8 guys bought shirts saying, I'm not gay, but $20 is $20. And we walked down the boardwalk at the beach, and everybody was running up, taking pictures with us. It was like hilarious. This girl was getting married. She was like, yo, their friends was like, yo, take a picture with them. And it was hilarious. We was like, off for the whole thing. And people was like, I remember this one gay guy was like, are you guys really gay? I was like, nah, we're not gay. He was like, damn it. It's like, it's all good.
There's Cowboy. There's Cowboy on the beach now. Actually needs a brand new cloud game. Better get my t-shirt out.
Right.
Oh, man. Like Dragon, you missed when Justin was on earlier, man. Yeah, Justin and him were the 2 people that didn't get the shirts. Everybody else did.
Oh,
they was little chumps, man.
Yeah, that'd have been a good time. That'd have been funny as hell.
It's like everyone got the shirt. Can you name them? Well, there was Cowboy and there was Cowboy.
Right, exactly.
I just remember it was Cowboy with the t-shirt.
That was crazy. So the crazy thing is the Cowboy thing just kind of fell in my lap. None of my friends call me Cowboy, by the way.
The Cowboy just fell in his lap.
Nobody.
For $20.
For $20, Cowboy fell in my lap. I used to stream on Twitch, and let me back up a little bit. I used to work with my stepdad, and we sold kettle corn. So we would go to all over to different state fairs and all that, and we sold kettle corn. Well, the guy who owned the company, he always had a cowboy hat, and he would have a bunch of them, so I would wear his cowboy hat. So I ended up buying my own. We did a rodeo, and I bought my own cowboy hat. It was like expensive, but I wanted to get my real cowboy hat, right? Yeah. Which is the one that's it's the wicker looking one. Anyway, so my friend asked me if I would be the host for a video game tournament, a show where I will host a video game tournament. So it was Tekken, and I love Tekken. I was like, dude, can I also enter? He was like, so you're gonna be the host and enter? I said, yeah. I'll wear a blazer and everything, be all jazzed up, and then when I enter, I'll take the blazer off, I'll put on gloves, and I wear a cowboy hat as a contestant, so it looked like I'm 2 different people. Yeah. So he's like, cool. So I would always do that, and then when I start streaming, me and him had a fallout. We stopped doing the show, and he was the producer of the show. We did it at his studio, so we had a fallout. Guys, by the way, all of those episodes is on my channel. So it's called All Purpose Champion. He let me name the show, and I named it the All Purpose Champion. It was pretty cool. The premise was when you win the tournament that day, you get to be an all-purpose champion. But the thing was, I kept winning, so it was like, who will be more all-purpose champions than me? Anyway, so we had a fallout. We stopped talking. Anyway, my friend said, dude, why don't you have your own show, Game Stream? I said, Game Stream? That's dumb as hell. I was never into game streaming. Yeah. He was like, dude, I was like, what does it take to game stream? He was like, I don't know, look it up. So I was like, dude, I'm not game streaming. I used to look down on people like game streaming.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and it was like, oh, you just need a PlayStation camera, and that's pretty much it. At the time, it was like the $75 or whatever. I was like, all right, I'm going to buy a PlayStation camera, and I'm a game stream. So I game stream on Twitch, and I figure, okay, since I had this, I wore a cowboy hat and gloves, because I used to wear gloves. It was funny. I would start the show and start putting my gloves on, right? So I start streaming, having a cowboy hat. But I never call myself Cowboy, ever. Now, wait to this part, man. This is crazy. Okay. Never call myself Cowboy, and you know what happened?
What happened?
I got into the Stadia community, because that was well before Stadia. Got into the Stadia community, and I heard all these people saying like, "Oh, Rated Gaming Cyborg," and I was like, I didn't know who he was, but he called himself the Gaming Cyborg. I was like, that's funny. I wear a cowboy hat, but I don't call myself Cowboy. But everybody know him as the Gaming Cyborg. I was like, So then I start, every time I would see him in, like, he would be in, I would be on the show Stadia Source, and he would be in the comments. So I would write, Cowboys are better than cyborgs. I didn't know this man, but I was like, everybody knows him, and if I could get him to respond to me, it could be a thing. So then I would go on his streams and write, Cowboys are better than cyborgs. So eventually him on the screen would talk and be like, get out of here, bro. I could tell he had a good personality. So then he would go back and forth with this banter, and then people were like, oh, Cowboy. And I was like, oh, people are calling me Cowboy. Like they call him cyborg. And then it just kind of fell into my lap, Hoults, for $20. So,
Good callback.
And we all know that it was Ray that gave you the $20. I call you Cowboy if you call me Cyborg.
Oh, man. There you go. But that's a little fun fact. So I kind of got Ray to thank for kind of my persona a little bit. It's funny.
That's good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, anyways, we said we was leaving a couple minutes ago, a little while ago. But man, this is awesome. I just love chatting with you guys, man. I could do this all night. But unfortunately, my wife is also a wrestling fan, and she's probably like, bro,
where are you? Yeah.
So well, no, the funny thing, she's right there on the bed. So I stream in my bedroom. So I stream in my bedroom. So right there, my wife is laying on the bed. So she's probably like,
see, it'd be a bit bad, wouldn't it? Because nowhere my backdrop sometimes goes static because like there's white background. Yeah. You might actually see Sandy's feet in the background just appear. Who's there?
Hand just come out and grab it. Pull me out of the screen. Just my chair would be spinning around.
It'd be like something out of The Ring.
Right. Yeah. He's done. Camera just spins around. All right, end the stream. He's done.
Oh man, good times, good times. All right, well look, I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank both of you guys, and yeah, man, watch some wrestling. Mayne, are you watching wrestling tonight or no?
I am absolutely. I can't wait. Of course, I think it starts a little bit later for me.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah. So I'm probably not gonna. I got another 3 hours or so, 2.5 hours before it starts for me. So yeah, but I'll definitely watch it.
Because we're in different time zones. I just felt like it came on early for you.
No. You guys are first. So East Coast is always first, and then we have to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. So I could actually be telling you about it, and you're like, oh, that's what's happening tonight.
Oh,
you could, yeah.
Wait. So then it's not live for you?
No.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yep.
Man, that's crazy.
Even though they air it as live, it isn't live.
Right.
Same as me.
Blew my mind.
Yes, sir.
So I'm the same like with anime or my TV shows and stuff like that. I have to watch it when it gets released because I don't want to find people on YouTube spoiling it. So I couldn't be there on social media or something like that, and someone spoiled the wrestling for me if I was 2-3 hours or the football or whatever game it could be. So I couldn't do that.
Paul said even in the UK it's live.
Yeah, and Black Dragon just said
it's not live because in the end we don't have the American advertisements and stuff like that. So in the end, it's been edited slightly, but it's not live.
That's interesting.
I've just got CW. Before we go, I've just got CW. Well, I had CW, but it's got advertisements, so it's funny now for me to watch it. I was watching Superman and Lois, and all the American TV ads were coming on. So I was sitting there going, I haven't got a clue what these companies are.
Oh yeah. Lucky.
Wow.
We have to use what we call a VPN for that.
Yeah. I'm familiar with the BBB. One of my favorite animated movies as a kid was Watership Down, and then the BBC is they a couple years ago they and I made my daughter sit through it, but they remade it, and so cool. I went to watch that.
Yeah, I'm taking my niece to go and see the animated movie called Belle. I think it's already out in America, but we're getting it in the start of February. So it's sort of like a Japanese twist on Beauty and the Beast in virtual reality. So it's about a girl who is sort of frowned and bullied upon, but when she goes in the virtual world, she's like the most famous idol. And it's all about like how people are going to sort of change their lives by going to VR. So it looks quite interesting.
Getting ready for the metaverse.
Oh, I see it. Interesting. I just looked up the trailer. Okay, she has pink hair and all that. It's pretty cool.
It's called Belle.
Yeah,
Belle,
and it's for G kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Solid. I'll check it out.
I'm all up to date with my anime. Attack on Titan. I've done I just watched Platinum End. there's a few that I watch, Yashahime, and so I feel like I've got nothing to do, so I'm just going to dive onto my Switch tonight and just relax, put a bit of music on, and that'll be me tonight.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it'll be all wrestling for me, and some breakfast. All right, guys. Well, for the 80 time, because we hey, this is what we do. But with that said, now your mama knows.
Peace.
And now your mama knows.
Bruce,